Well, hello. Good evening. Good evening, Doc Doc. Good to see you. Thank you. I don't know who else is here. This was a quick one. I listened to Nancy Grace here. I'm sure you guys saw she just dropped the video with Howard Bloom, and it got me a little bit infuriated. And so I thought I'd jump on, and I just needed a quick rant here. I'm waiting on Tommy to show up as well, but in the meantime, I just explained a little bit what my thought process on this is, because obviously I'm looking at it from like what's the gain for this man, from doing what he's just done in this, because if Koberger is found not. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm getting feedback. I'm so sorry. That's my that's my own fault. Sorry. So if Koberger is found not guilty in all this, think of the lawsuits that he's prepared to take on, right? So he's working hard, like overtime on this, just to make it stick. Because every other word when he describes that evening in the interview, pay attention. He says, I believe, I believe, I believe. It's not factual, but they're presenting it as factual on the Nancy Grace show. So be careful when you watch it. Listen to what he says, I believe, when he says it, because he keeps saying it over and over again. So that, got kind of takes him out of that dilemma. Hi, Nani. Good to see you. Hey, Miss Potts. I'm going to post the link here. Feel free to join me because I am sort of irate about this, to be honest. And so I'm thinking, like he's trying to actually sell a book here. He's trying to sell fact because this is a true crime. He's selling it this as true crime and nothing else. Don't get it twisted. So, let's all forget about who he worked with. That's who helped him get his information is the same person that spread so much misinformation that it's just, criminal at this point. The famous TikToker who shall remain unnamed. And so basically, I'm just thinking, like, what is his end goal with this? In the only thing I can think of that makes logically sense to me is not getting a lawsuit. And the only way to not get a lawsuit is to make this shit stick. Sorry to use, that word, but make this shit stick. And also watching Nancy Grace, the way they set it up is like, hey, Pammy B, hi, Adelax and Rondi and Peaches, thank you for being here. The way they set up this interview is they're going to call in other people just to like make it stick even further. Like, what if, how often does it happen? You as an expert, tell me where people don't tell their parents, but the parents feel it and they know something is wrong. They sell it like extra, extra hard. So that's my thought process. Hey, Leslie, good to see you. Thank you for coming in and joining this little rant of mine. I just had to jump on and say something about this because this is my thought process, and I don't know what you guys are feeling in this moment or what you think is happening, but I would love for anybody come up and join me. Hey, Miss Potts, pop up here. Uh, okay. Here's Tommy.
Yep.
Hey, Tommy.
Yeah.
Good to see you. Thanks for popping on. I was irate, to be honest with you.
What Bloom? Yeah, he's really a piece of work, ain't he?
He is, and at this point in time, I just told everybody, like, I feel he's trying to sell this as fact, not to get a lawsuit, to sell his little book, right? So
You're
he's
right.
working
He's gonna get
overtime.
his ass sued.
Well, that's what he's trying to avoid. So if he can make this shit stick, he's going to do everything in his power. And the problem
Make
is
us
he's
sick.
tainting a jury pool. Like, forget about what they did with their little questionnaire in
Right.
Idaho.
Oh,
That's like
I
shit,
agree.
nothing to this. I mean,
Right.
if I understand why they wouldn't, do anything about it, meaning Anne and them, the team. They were like, just ignore it. But I don't think they can ignore this, to be quite honest with you.
Right.
This is
Yeah.
just unignorable. Oh, there's
Yeah.
Nani. Hi, Tommy.
Huh?
No, Nani and Peaches.
90? Oh,
Yeah,
you're looking
yeah,
at
yeah,
comments. Oh.
yeah. So what do you think? What's your thought process on this?
No, I think he's gonna get his ass suited. It ain't gonna matter what. And the jury pool, this might help push it to a different county.
You think so? You think it
It might
matters?
it might help. You know what? He's gonna get found guilty there anyway. I don't think he's gonna get out until because there's an automatic what do you call God, I
Appeal,
can't even think here.
appeal,
Appeal.
appeal. Yeah.
And he's going to win on appeal, and they're never going to go after the real killers, and that way he gets out after spending however long it's going to be, 5 years or whatever,
Hmm.
and nobody's ever going to go down for this. It's going to
Okay.
turn out to be a cold case. That's kind of what I'm thinking.
I
But
think they're
uh,
at this point, all I can think of, because I've never had this thought in my head before. And it's Tommy. I don't like to say it, but this is a setup. This is a
right,
setup.
right. Are we? Are
And
we? Oh, we're live. We're live right now. Oh,
yes, we
I thought
are.
we're back.
Yes.
I thought we
Yes,
were
we
backstage.
are. Yes. No, no, no. I could not hold back any longer. Hey, Natural
Hey,
Healing.
hi everybody. Hi everybody.
Hey, Ro. Hi. And Debbie. See, I love you
I
guys
thought
for
we were
showing
talking.
up on
I
on
thought we
this.
were talking backstage.
See, it doesn't matter. You don't say stuff anyway that hurt anybody.
Yeah, yeah. I'm glad I didn't start cursing all.
I'm
Oh, they're
sorry.
used to that anyway.
I'm sorry. I didn't
That's
even
funny.
mute my own YouTube. Is how quick I wanted to start this. Hey, true killer crime. Sorry. How are you?
Hey, my girl. Yeah.
Yeah, no. So basically, I think at this point, I'm just looking at it as a setup. This is a total utter setup. And I believe that they fed information to Bloom somehow, which is totally illegal. This is not before the
You're
gag order.
right.
This is after the gag order. And
Yep.
that's illegal, which I would go after if I was Anne, because she can probably prove it by what comes out in court.
Yeah, I'm wondering what she thinks about all this
Mm-hmm.
because that's going to matter.
Yeah.
That's going to matter big time, and I can't wait for tomorrow's deal.
Yeah.
'Cause I have a feeling it's going to be mentioned.
I don't know if they're gonna bring anything up. Like this should have been like Jesus. On it, you know what? I'm gonna say it to everybody. Hi, Justice. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna call the Pennsylvania lawyer tomorrow who
Oh,
represented
okay.
Brian.
Right,
And
right.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna tell him, like, I don't know how much he can talk about this, but if he's willing to come on my show, I'll have him, but probably not because he's
right.
gagged. But I'm gonna tell him at this point, I think Brian's family should put out a statement because he's presenting his father's point of view as a fact. And the only one that knows that would be the father. Hi, David Bird.
Right.
So I'm going to contact him tomorrow. Now, will I get anywhere with him? I don't know. Can I get a hold of him? I don't know. Hi, Amy Lane. I have no idea if I can get a hold of anybody, but I'm going to sure as
I'll
hell
tell
try.
you what. If he starts getting sued by like Brian or somebody, um, it, Bloom's gonna if they gave him information, he'll flip.
Hmm.
He'll flip. He'll
Hmm.
flip on him because he's going to protect his assets and he's going to protect his life and what he's built up. You know, um,
Who do you who are
because
you who are you talking about?
um, I'm talking about Bloom will flip.
Oh, you think
He'll
Bloom
flip.
will flip?
He'll flip on. And let's say he was given information, right?
Hmm.
Like you were stating,
Hmm.
he'll flip on that person.
You think so?
He'll flip on him. Oh yeah.
He's
If
ruthless.
he's gonna
Okay.
be, if he's getting sued,
Hmm.
for millions and millions of dollars,
Yeah.
he'll flip in a heartbeat. He'll
I
flip
can
in a
see that
heartbeat.
happening. I can see that happening.
Hmm.
The kind of person, but ultimately, right now, he's trying to make this shit stick. And he's doing it like this is like, a- and just his angle. Did you happen to catch a little bit of the Nancy Grace that just came out?
I
Oh
can't
my
handle
God.
her. I can't
Listen.
handle her.
So here's what they do. They get experts, right? Who talk about like they're saying, okay, this is what happened between Brian and his dad in the car because I know I'm Howard Bloom. So he's
I
sitting
couldn't
there.
when I seen that. I was like, how do you know what the hell he was thinking and saying?
Yeah, exactly. So anyway,
Yeah.
I'm thinking like, okay, and then they get experts in to talk about is it common to have people, you know, like this where the family feels something is wrong? Of fucking course, I'm sorry. Of course it is common to have that. But is it relevant in this situation? Hell no, because you have no
Yeah.
idea, And then as I said
Right.
to everybody, pay attention when you do watch that uh, Nancy Grace thing, the video she just dropped. Pay attention. Bloom says every other word that comes out of his mouth is, I believe this happened. I believe that happened. So
Right. Right.
he's not
Right.
really stating it as I believe this is what happened. I believe that's what happened. And of
Yeah.
course his audio is shit too, which I was happy about. But no, this just has me. I'm very angry because he is tainting a jury pool here. That's
He
one of
is.
the
He
main reasons
is.
I had to jump on.
And but what do you do about it? I mean, there's nothing. The only thing that can be done is switch counties, and that's not going to even do either.
No, the only thing I can see that can, to a certain degree, rectify this, the family needs to put out a statement. So if anybody here hears this in a roundabout way, has any connections to Brian's family, consider putting out
Willie,
a statement.
Willie.
Consider putting out, yeah, I don't know if he can get a hold of them though, but they should really consider putting out a statement saying that this is absolutely false. If they care anything about
Right.
Brian, in this case, they need to put out a statement that nobody, this is absolutely false. Why would they even
Right.
talk such things with people that, you
That
know,
would yeah, that would help if the family did that.
yeah,
No doubt about it.
this is.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, Angela. Hi. How are you? David Bird. Hi. Yeah, no, that would actually help a little bit. Now, people would still be like up in arms about it, but who cares? And,
Right.
he didn't listen. He didn't ask Drunk Turkey to help him investigate this case for his book. He asked a chick on TikTok. You know what I mean?
Right.
Isn't that flipping
Right.
crazy? Just that? Why didn't he ask
Yeah.
Drunk Turkey to like,
And this is the guy that you've stuck up for most of this time.
I have stuck up for him because
Yes,
some
you
of it
have.
what he wrote, I thought had some bearing in some truth. When all along, a lot of it came from a TikToker that misled everybody in this community with her
Right.
dots when she brought dots
Bo-
into it. And this is the
yeah.
person. This is the person. Hey, Dana. Hi, Dana. Good to see you. This is the person that he brought in and used, who's endorsing his book on his flipping Twitter. Have you seen that? The
No.
endorsement that he had up on his Twitter?
Uh-uh. I don't pay
No.
attention to Twitter either. No.
Oh my God. It was I had to send it to Rory yesterday. I said, Rory, did you see this? This is like, let me see if I can find it. It's absolutely insane that someone he's letting on his Twitter, Brett Norton, like, oh, look who's endorsing my
Uh,
book. Look, fantastic.
we all know about Brad.
We all know about Brett. Did he not know about Brett? What's
He
wrong with
must
this
have
dude?
known.
And
He
did he
must
not
have
think twice about the information she fed him?
known.
Like,
Right.
at least Steve Gonzalez had the flipping sense of like taking two steps
Well,
back from her.
Brat used to be on the opposite side, so I don't know when she flipped, but because she was
Here.
on the opposite side of what Bloom is speaking,
Yeah.
so I don't know
Yeah.
what she all told him.
Oh
Um,
no, she's she's now going to she's going to the book launch in New York City. So she's getting what she needs out of it. Here we go.
oh, you're right,
Okay, I'm
right.
sharing it. Are you seeing that? Thank
I'm
you,
seeing
Brett
it,
Norton.
but I can't hear it or nothing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I'm not gonna play it because, copyright and all that.
All right.
But this is Brett Norton on Howard Bloom's. This is Howard Bloom. Just I'm not, this is his
She's.
official.
Let me look at that again. That doesn't even look like Brad.
That's Brett Norton, all
Well,
right.
yeah, but she's lost weight.
Yeah, and of course there's her name. That's not her real name, but there's her
All right.
name. So we do know that he got so she's going to New York for the book launch. Yeah, so she got what she got out of it. Oh wait, hold on. Who's there? Hold on. Let me see.
Yeah, that's not.
Who's
That doesn't even look like the Brad Martin that was on Paramount.
Yep, yep, yep. Let me just go ahead and remove this. Let me stop sharing. Remove. We got enough of that. But I just wanted to show you this is no joke. Like this
Right.
is literally not a joke. Like hi Micro Blue and Deborah Eklund. And if I missed anybody, I'm so sorry. No, this is no joke. Like you're literally
Yeah.
messing up. You're tainting a jury pool. You're messing up a man's life to sell books. You're doing it on the back end of tragedy. So, yes, whoever
Right.
called this man a tragedy pimp, he is the ultimate tragedy pimp on a large scale. There's a lot of tragedy pimps on YouTube, but this takes the cake of them all.
That's yeah. And I just the only thing I can see. What do you think can be done? I mean, besides the family coming, what is Ann Taylor going to do about it?
I don't know. She's going to try to ignore it, just like she did with the no cameras in the courtroom. But she'll come to that realization that if she doesn't stop it somehow, this is going to continue on. And we have,
I wonder if I wonder if there's some kind of injunction that she can put against that book being released.
I mean, it's too late now. It's out. It was released,
Yeah, it is. Is it
pre-released like
totally?
yesterday or
Or
the
is
day
it,
before,
oh,
and then it's already released now. So no, unfortunately, it's too late now to put an injunction on that. But I don't think she wanted to go down that route. Like ignore it as stupid as it is, ignore it. But it's gonna have such an impact on the jury pool that I don't think you can. I don't think you can. So what she can do right now is to try to get as much information as she can out in the public. That's what I would do if I was her. Is
yeah,
I
just
would just ungag
fight fire with fire. You
ungag
know,
everything because this is Brian's rights and you're trampled all over it. Well, let's have it out then. Let's have it all
right.
out. Lay it
Someone
all
should
out.
write a book. Going the opposite way and let somebody should write a book about everything that the YouTubers have either exposed or make it questionable
I mean,
and
yeah,
cause
maybe
doubt
somebody
and
is.
cause doubt.
Yeah, maybe
I think
somebody is.
someone should do that. Someone would become very rich if they did.
Yeah, you hear it here, people. Go ahead and
Yeah,
try to write a book. I'm not
yeah,
I'm not good enough for it, but if anybody can,
neither am
please
I.
go
But
ahead and do it. Lord, that would be so awesome to be honest with you.
hmm
But I don't know anybody who's doing it because they're not stupid enough to. They know like let's wait until trial. That's what a normal person thinks. But someone with like an
right,
agenda and maybe, here's just a maybe, this is all my speculation, guys. Maybe they gave information to Howard Bloom, i.e., law enforcement, with this in mind. Just keep that in
right.
mind. That is a
Well,
possibility.
I wouldn't put it past Santa Claus because from what I hear, he is dirty, and I didn't think he was. I thought maybe he was just an older, but I've heard some really awful things about him. So
Mhm.
I wouldn't doubt if he's the one that's behind this more
I
so
don't know
than
if it's
Millie.
him. I don't know if it's him or if it's law enforcement or the FBI or whoever it is. But
Against
maybe
the
there
FBI.
is a possibility, and that this is my conspiracy theory, people. So you might look at me
Right.
sideways from now
And
on.
golf
But
doesn't do that very often.
no, but I have no other option now because of I'm seeing this play out, on a grand,
Mhm.
grand scheme, right?
Well, I could sure write a book about what's all gone down in YouTube land about this case.
You
I
should
really, if somebody would, no, I would have to have somebody help.
write it for you. Yeah,
Yeah, because, but I mean, just think of all the stuff that's been out there, and
there's
I'm
too much.
talking just going in speculating, going in
Hmm.
speculating, just like Bloom, I believe, can do the same thing,
We can do
can
the
do the
same
same
thing, yeah.
thing.
But as I
I
say, none of
believe,
us have been stupid enough to even think that, like why would you even do that before knowing? So, and here's the thing.
right?
Facts don't fuck facts don't matter. I'm sorry, I'm so angry, I'm swearing. Facts
Yeah,
do
it's all right.
not matter in this case. And see how
Doesn't
much they
seem
don't
like it,
matter?
no.
No, they don't matter.
But,
Not at all. Facts
oh,
do not
hey,
matter.
Laura, Rory's in.
Rory, I don't see him.
Yeah, yeah, he's there.
Oh, hey, Rory, come up. I sent you the link. Or I pinned it. Actually, I pinned it to the anybody's welcome. Come on up here. Voice your opinion. Um, if you can. Of course, I don't know if you're working, Rory. This was a quick one.
Right, Roar. Yep.
Miss Miss Potts is like,
Put
swear it
that
up,
one up on
doll.
the screen. Put that one up on screen.
Which one? This one? Oh,
Yeah, that
no.
one.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Right.
Exactly. So I was telling
Right.
Rory,
We could do it too, man.
I can nominate anybody for a Pulitzer. That's not a big deal. You can nominate any book for a Pulitzer, people. You can just call or write in and nominate
Right.
someone for a Pulitzer. That's not the big deal. The big deal is the dude's gonna win it or not. I'm gonna conspiratize your conspiracy theory here. I think he's gonna win it because this is a mass media corruption bullshit going on here. I suspect he might win some kind of award.
I don't know if he's going to do a Pulitzer. I don't know about that.
He's gonna win
I don't
something.
know.
Some kind
Yeah,
of
maybe.
award will go his way, I'm sure. But yeah, he
Well,
got his
if
information.
but if they lose the case, he's not going to win shit.
I honestly
You
think
know what
this
I'm
is a
saying?
setup. This is a setup. They're
Yeah, they're
banking
trying
on
to
this.
taint the pool.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
They're
yeah,
banking on it. So you heard it here first. Let's see what happens. If I'm
yeah.
right, if I'm wrong, I don't know. But I think they fed Howard Bloom information. Prove me wrong just for this. Just for this fact,
Right.
because facts don't matter. Facts
Doesn't
don't
seem
matter.
to in this case.
The
Doesn't
truth don't
seem to
matter.
in
They
this
want their
case.
man. They gonna get their man. And I'm so sorry for Brian, but now it really is the time for his family to step up and do something. Do
They
something.
do have to do something.
They
They
do. I
haven't done
feel like
anything.
they need to put out a statement, and that is the reason I'm gonna call that lawyer. I don't care. He might
Right,
not want to talk about it, but I'm gonna talk about it. He can listen.
right. Yeah, you can. Yeah,
He might think I'm an idiot. I don't care. And he might not have any you know thing to do with it anymore. But
I think
I
he'll agree with. Actually, I think he'll agree with you.
I think so. Maybe he already talked to the family to do something like that. He's not his lawyer
Yeah,
anymore, but he's still
right.
involved. He was
Yeah.
involved, and I'm sure he's still got
Well,
interest in it.
well,
Anything else?
who's the family does have a lawyer, don't they? I thought they had a lawyer.
I'm not sure. Can they afford it? Poor people. I mean,
Um,
they probably
yeah,
like
did they have
invested a
to
lot of
go in?
money.
I think they do have a lawyer, if I remember right.
Maybe he knows that,
I
and
think
I
they
can
do.
contact them. But honestly, and anybody who thinks that Brian's family never showed up in court for him is totally mistaken, because there was actually one of the times that the family was upstairs watching it from a different room. They were not sitting out in the public room, but they went to Leta County for him, just so and that's the same family that would sell him out. That's some bullshit.
Right.
That's some bullshit. Hey, Stutter.
Yeah. Yeah, it's too bad, and it's really sad that he had that,
Yeah, yeah.
to do this, to make money dirty like that. This
This
is
is
what
dirty.
the world is about nowadays. It really
Yeah.
is.
A
It's not about
requiem.
clean living anymore. It's not about being honest anymore. I hate to say it, but that's the way the world is.
Hmm.
It's sad. It's not the world I was raised in. I know that.
No, I
Yeah,
mean, I understand Bloom is older. He's an older gentleman, and he might need
yeah,
the
that's
money. I don't know, but this is not a requiem that needed to be put out there, and
no.
do it this way, selling it as fact, sell it as fiction. Nobody cares, right? No, he's selling it as fact, and that's what has
Right.
me boggled because he's
Yeah.
putting it out as fact. And yeah, he can say later on, like you say, he might come out and say, "Well, this is what they fed me." You
Yeah,
know,
if they do that, then there's gonna be some shit hitting the fan then.
hmm
Yeah.
there is. So anyway, I'm interested in what people have to say. Sorry, I didn't follow chat so much,
Yeah,
but
go ahead and look at chat, and you
yeah,
might want to
let me drag
put some
the
up on the screen.
here.
Put some up on the screen,
I don't know how to do it
and
from. Oh, maybe here. Hold on. Oh,
you
maybe
just
I
click
can.
on it. And,
No, on YouTube, I don't know how to go back. Okay, I know. Rory, sorry. Yes, I saw you at work.
oh,
Um,
just do it
yeah,
on Streamyard. Yeah.
yep. This is exactly my point. Hold on. Let me see if I can. No, I can't. See, in StreamYard, I can't go back to older comments. That's
What?
the problem. Yeah.
Are you on a phone or a computer?
No, I'm on a computer. I go to my YouTube and I'm trying to highlight comments from YouTube, but I
Well,
can't.
go to Streamyard.
Yeah, that's where I'm at,
That's
and I'm trying to scroll up and it won't scroll up. Sorry, people. So
what?
put out your thoughts and I'll
That's
pin them up
weird.
there.
My, that's really strange.
But yeah, you're right, True Killer Time Crime. This is like Bloom is horrible with a horrible book. He
Right.
is. He is. He's not doing anybody any justice. This is not
Right.
justice. This is
Yeah.
egomaniac, you know.
Well, right. You can read some of these, like,
Yeah.
just read them and who from.
Let me show this one. Could the case be dismissed for interference because of this book? I don't think so. I really don't. I
Love you,
really
Angela.
don't. Honestly, because he's stating in every interview, I believe, I believe, I believe. Now, I don't know legalities around these things. I think if Brian is not convicted of this crime, he might have a lawsuit against him.
He'll definitely have a
Yeah.
lawsuit against him.
I mean,
Yeah.
even his
There's,
dad does at this point, honestly,
right. Yeah.
because his dad
Yeah.
into the fold, like his dad was squealing to somebody, like, "Oh, my son,
Yeah.
it's probably the killer." Like that's
Yeah.
what the hell? That doesn't make him look good.
Right.
Why would he talk to somebody about this? And then that somebody would go out and talk to Howard Bloom of all people. That just doesn't make any sense. Hi, the Borg,
No,
and hi,
and
Julia.
I thought Bloom was kind of on our side for a while, thinking that Brian might be, I just thought he was smarter than this. And he doesn't seem to be too smart to
Mm-hmm.
me. Watching him speak now, I'm going, is this guy an idiot?
Ah,
I, you know what I mean? It's like I thought he was a lot smarter than this. It's like, how can you sit there and try to tell us what he thinks Brian's dad was thinking?
yeah, yeah. I mean,
I believe
yeah, I believe, but he's selling it as fact, and that's a problem. But
that's a
somebody
problem.
said, isn't it against the First Amendment to say he cannot do this book? Well, yeah, but he's selling it as I don't know this territory so good. Like, uh, I'm not a lawyer. I wish we had someone with like book law experience, but it
Well,
seems to me as
yeah,
he's selling it as factual, but he's still
right,
putting that I believe shit in there, right? He's not
right.
putting it in
Rory,
his book.
that'd be a good question for when Rory's got
Yeah.
Andrew on the 12th.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Rory
That
asked
would
him
be a
that.
great question for Rory to ask him and ask him all about that whole Bloom
Yep.
situation because that
And
is quite
we don't have to buy it or read it. I'm not going to either. Hell no. I'm not putting any money
right.
in that man's pocket. It's enough to hear him. I wouldn't have done it anyway, even if the book was different because of Brett Norton. I'm sorry.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, I bet you are, Rory. That's gonna be fun, Rory.
yep,
Yeah,
yep.
that'll be a good time. Say hi to
Mhm.
Twiz for us.
Hey, tomorrow, speaking of, Rory is going to go live for us not inside the courtroom, of course, because he can't, but outside the courtroom before and after, and every break he can, he's gonna do a live.
Right.
So I
Yeah.
think that's gonna be
I was
fun to
gonna, but
watch.
I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it because I see you're going and you're not gonna talk. So if I want anything, I can just download from you.
You can do mine. That's the only
Yeah.
reason I'm recording it so we don't get
Yeah.
copyright strike by anybody. So I'm not gonna
Right.
talk. I might, I work, so
I
I'm gonna
did
be
the
able to have
first
a
couple
chat.
times I did it, and it was like, man, I can't talk.
Mm-hmm.
It's stupid.
Yep. Yep. That's gonna be fun for you. He said, I'm tripping out. I'm going to see BK and
Right,
AT and
right.
Santa
That'll
and
be fun.
JJJ tomorrow.
Right.
Yep. You have to tell us your impressions. Okay. No doubt the
Well,
insect like Bloom has the legalities covered. I'm sure. I'm sure. But now, if he got information outside of the gag order, that's a
right.
problem. That's going to be a
That's a
problem.
big, but it'll be a problem proving that too.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be a big problem trying to prove that.
Yeah.
And he knows that. He knows that. And I'm sure he knows all the legalities. That's why he's saying, I believe, I believe, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
But it makes it sound, the way he says it, it institutes like it's fact.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And it's not. It's not fact.
Well, they're presenting it. So he's he more or less does it. He's a little bit more clever when he presents it because he does add in that I believe. But when it's presented
Mhm.
in the media, like bombshell new information
You're
about
right. You're
the
right.
killer, about
Yeah.
they do say the alleged killer, so that's one bonus point for them. But like it's fact. They're selling it as factual. So
But people aren't that smart. There's
mm-mm.
a lot of people that aren't that smart to know the differences.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Hold on. Let me see. I don't want to miss this too. He will not be sued. Blah, blah. I'm sure he worked. Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure you're right. Oh, somebody said, um, don't forget to get the heights for Koberger. And I believe
Oh,
Twiz had said in the past that he's like,
six
because
three.
Twiz is he's like 6 feet or something, if not taller. And he said he's way taller than me, so he is 6'3", 6'4", I believe.
Yeah, he's 6'3" is what I heard.
Yeah,
I've heard that forever. Yeah.
yeah.
Which,
What
if
huge
you take
corporation
if
he
you
worked for? Bloom worked for Vanity Fair, I believe, for years, and he's published other books as well. So that's the corporation I'm guessing there. Yeah,
all right.
he used to work for, and Vanity Fair is pretty large in the arena. Okay, let's see here what this says.
I'm gonna put my
Uh,
cussing guy on here.
yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's very fitting.
Yeah.
Bloom claims the 911 call is of no evidentiary value. There's no noise of people wailing or crying, then says he's never actually heard the call. Yeah, that's isn't that a problem to you that he's talking about it like he knows what's on it, but he's never like actually heard it? That's I mean, yeah, and we don't, but the media takes his word for it. And they back it up with their like, and we have this person on panel and that person on panel just to reiterate that shit. Let it stick. Let it stick. So
Yeah.
when you
Yeah.
talk about like they're throwing everything in the kitchen at the kitchen sink, well, this is what they're doing. They're throwing everything. Like this is a last ditch effort. Let me see. What if Bloom ends up having to pull the book and retract the statements, just like Vanity Fair has had to do many times? Their retractions rate is pretty high, if I remember. Yes, you're right, Miss Potts. It is pretty high, and I don't think it's going to make the news when they do, or if he does. Let me just say that. It's going to
Right.
go very, very, very quietly. It's going to happen. It's going to happen quietly, if that happens. Let's see here. Wonder why prosecution had to get a new blood splatter expert. Oh, Steve W. I don't know. Did something happen that I missed? Did I miss something about that? Because I have not heard anything about that.
Yeah.
I would like to know more about that. Is this book fiction? Yeah, it's all.
I would like to know a lot more about that actually.
Yeah, me too. Because I
That's
have
really
not heard
important.
anything. Yeah.
That's really important.
Um,
When was this?
I
Who was
don't
it who
know.
said that?
Steve W. Hey, Twiz. Hey, Twiz. You're welcome to jump. Anybody could jump up here. Let's hear about this. What's your thought on this? Let me see here. Did I post that? Oh, hold on. Show.
Right. I'll be talking, and
Okay.
I'll be talking. I mean, now tomorrow night I'm on with Cy and
Hey,
Carrie Ray.
Ray. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
but
yeah.
I can't talk about the case. But I can't talk about the case.
Yeah, I know. I
So
know. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that's kind of a bummer. But there is always beforehand and after the show.
Yep. Okay. They said, he said they mentioned that in the last hearing. AT wants the doc. Oh, okay. I must have missed that. Thank you,
I
Steve.
missed that.
Yeah, me
Yeah,
too.
I
Thanks,
missed
Steve.
that. That's very interesting,
Yep.
actually.
Um, has there ever been another case where whole books, documentaries have been done before a conviction? Yes, many. I mean, just look at the Lori Day Vallow case one. They did that. Like they had a whole Netflix documentary. But I think if you look at the evidence in that case, it's so different. You can't compare it to these. But yeah, they do documentaries on these things, and the way they're presenting it is really really good actually. And I think the reason that it upsets us so much is because we know that it's not factual in this case, you know. All right, let's
Yep.
see here. I would think it has to be fiction because of the gag orders. Nothing had, yeah, unless they fed him information to do what he just did, just to taint the jury pool. And that's my conspiracy theory of the day. Twiz, Twiz is in love with Mr. Bloom
Boom.
there. Nah, he's just joking.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Oh, Twiz, you're so funny. Oh, biggest supporter. I think Twiz has been the biggest supporter of next to me because I've been supporting him too. Remember, I've been supporting him, and I
Supporting
sort
who?
of Bloom, Howard Bloom.
Yeah, you have been, but when it comes to this,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think you would be supporting him on this. Um,
Yep, yep. Somebody, I sent Tommy some screenshots I took of the blue video faces. I don't know what she means. The moonflower says that.
oh
Hi,
yeah,
Miss Hot.
yeah, I know that. I know that moon. That was
Hmm.
Rosendahl and them.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, that's exactly right. They're tainting the jury pool. They need it. So at this point, I'm thinking it doesn't matter. They can bring that trial to Iceland, and he's still going to be convicted. Like That's just my thought.
I think,
They just totally
uh,
screwed him.
yeah, yeah, they
They
have.
screwed him big time. So that's just my thought on it. And I
But
wish
there's,
I wish we
I
had.
don't know though, because even if it gets to, if it does get to trial, um, you got to remember that Ann's doing one hell of a job, and I believe with Cy Ray being able to pinpoint exactly where Brian was, um, their case is out the window.
I
Their
know,
case is out
but
the
we
fucking window.
we
And
just
if they can't
established.
supply, right, and
Sure.
if they can't supply the video of those businesses, because what they're trying to do is to show that he didn't go by there. It isn't to
Yeah.
prove that he went by there. It's to prove
Hmm.
that he did
Didn't.
not go. He went the opposite way to Wawa Wee Park.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if they can't supply that video, that it just happens to be that that piece of the video is missing. I mean, the Bloom can say all he wants, but
Hmm.
when it comes to trial, the facts are the facts are the facts are the facts, and the facts are they don't have the video, the main part of the video, and they have nothing. They
Hmm.
have totally, absolutely nothing.
Hmm.
And if you have an expert that can say, I can pinpoint this man, he was right here at Wawa Wee Park,
Hmm.
they're done.
Yeah.
They're totally done.
But that is if facts matter. But we've seen it plenty of times. There's been a lot
That's
of
true.
times where they don't seem to matter because people don't care. And that's a
That's true.
problem. That's a problem. And they can twist that stuff around like anything can, like they're good at that. They're good at that. And if you don't pay attention, you fall along, unfortunately. So I don't know. I'm worried about this. I'm really like for the first time I'm worried about this tainting the jury pool.
Yeah. Um,
Mm.
for some
Seeking
reason,
alternate
I'm not
suspects.
quite as worried, but
Yeah. Okay, that's good. I feel better. I ranted. I needed to get it.
right.
I'll stop. I
I
won't
could tell.
stop.
I could tell you were pissed off with the message you sent me. It's like, oh.
No, I was like because I see what they're doing and it's even sometimes hard for me to explain what I see, but I think everybody understood my point and what I saw and just the few minutes I watched that I was it was bearable to for me to watch Nancy
Right.
Grace because of course she's like you know the way she is, but
Oh, I can't handle her.
phew,
I can't even. I can't even look at her face.
meh, yep, yep, that's true. That's true. I think they're
I
doing
can't.
exactly what Massa said they were seeking alternate suspects and hiding it behind Brian's case. I mean, uh, perhaps,
Yep. Yep.
perhaps, but that doesn't make this any lesser because that Bloom person, or should I call him a person, criminal out there is still tainting a jury pool. Doesn't make it that different. That's
Right.
still a fact. So,
Well, I have a
hey, bubbly.
pretty good a pretty good connection on some stuff, and I'm hearing that there is other investigations going on, and it's more than one.
Have
I
you
was
heard
told
that?
how many actually. Yeah, I have, and I really don't want to get into it or who from or anything.
Hmm.
Um, but I am hearing there is other investigations going on.
Well,
That's
I'm
why I'm
hoping.
not too worried. Yeah, so am I. So am I.
And I'm hoping because of justice sake, not because of Brian's sake. I don't know Brian from Adam. He could have something to do with it, but I know a process. I know what's legal, I know what's right, and I know what's wrong. And that's
All
where
right.
I come from. And so
Yeah.
the this process is not right. Yeah, sure, do your thing, Mr. Bloom, but don't sell it as fact. Or if the media wants to sell it as fact, you fucking correct them. You correct them.
Right.
This is what I think. And not just like, I believe, I believe, I believe. No, you say, okay, hold up. This is what I believe. No, you're selling it as like, and he's smug about it. Hi, Brian. How are you? Feel free to jump on. I have an open panel, and I believe the link is pinned. Is it pinned? Let me put it out again. Jump on here. Don't be afraid. It's only me and Tommy. I want to,
Yeah, I'm not sure.
if I could, honestly, with this, I love, people who know me, I know that I love discussing things with people. I'm not good on my own. I can rant and rave for a minute, but then I'm like,
No, I don't
dry
know
out.
about that.
But I like discussing things, and I want to give everybody a voice. So don't be shy. Jump on. You have a voice, and I want to give you that gift of like finally saying what you think. So don't be shy. Jump on and voice it. I would appreciate it so much. I love when new people that never done this before jump on any panel. And even if they're nervous or if they're like, oh, I don't have a good voice, it doesn't matter. Just
No,
voice
you
it.
don't have to show your face. You can show your little
No, no, no.
avatar, like my little angry guy here.
That's very, very fitting.
That's what I usually use in my morning Java chats.
Oh,
My rantings and whatever.
do you wake up angry like me? Here, have an
No, not
avatar. No,
usually.
I'm just joking.
Actually, I'm kind of mellow in the mornings, but yeah,
This is just a commercial for you. Do wake up or angry in the morning. Here, have an avatar like me.
you're right.
Oh,
Yeah. Well,
hey,
I think you do have something. You brought up something that people have to be leery of and watch what happens with this shit. And um, hopefully, it helps the judge decide. Because what's the judge going to think about it? That's really what's the key.
I mean,
What's the judge going to do about it?
he seems very passive about things, and he's like, "I'm just here to protect Brian's rights." Well, if
He's
you
the one that
are,
put the gag order on. No, he's the
uh,
one that put the gag
yeah, I
order.
mean, if anything that Howard Bloom has been spouting in his book is behind a gag order, good lord,
Right.
is all I'm gonna say. Because if that's the case, then there's some serious bullshit going on here. Ooh, yes, that's true, Twizzle. It's 100% possible that they had BK on camera elsewhere. Hmm. And he says, I know where it's possible. I don't know if they have it. Well, maybe you can provide it to Ann Taylor if you
Right.
can find it. Give it to Ann Taylor.
I
Is
just know
all.
they're after that, that piece that you know isn't there, isn't that convenient? You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that convenient? There's four businesses there, and none of them have. Oh, come on, give me a fucking break.
Well,
And that'll show that he didn't make that turn. He didn't go towards Moscow.
and speaking of that, thank you, Annie. I do believe you're right. Speaking of that, um, Howard Bloom claims he talked to the gas station owner. Remember the gas station photo we all discussed and looked at
Right, right,
and
right.
went into detail about? Now, whether or not that was involved, that car has tinted windows. You can
Yeah.
clearly see. I'm sounding like Nancy Grace now. It has tinted windows, ladies and gentlemen.
Plus, it's a
And
2011 to 2013.
And not only that, there are 3 people visible in that car, and I have done the work myself. I ran it through my Photoshop. So not somebody else's, but I ran it through my Photoshop. You can clearly see there is 2 dudes in the front seat and 1 dude in the back seat. And that
Right,
100% has tinted windows, just like the car that
right.
resurfaced in Oregon.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna
that
say it's
is
the
the
same one.
car. I'm pretty sure it's the car.
I'm pretty sure too,
Yeah.
but it's not Brian's car. Now, was Brian
Nope.
in that car? I don't know. I can't see that, but I
Mm,
can see three dudes sitting in it.
right.
And so Howard Bloom brings that up, that he talked to the gas station owner. Then I for sure know that that car has something to do with it, right? Or for sure. I
Right.
mean, whatever they
Right.
fed him as information, or whatever um, the TikToker fed him as information. Who knows? I mean, if they believe Dot, God only knows what else is in there,
Yeah,
you know.
Twizzle. How long was it? How long was it from the time that it was reported about that car to the time that Fry said it was of no interest? How much actual time went by? Was it the next day?
Oh, shit. Oh.
Was it the next day? Do you remember that, Golf?
From what? Sorry, I wasn't paying
The,
attention to
the,
that.
the car, the vehicle in Eugene, Oregon. When was it that Fry said that
Um,
the car was of no interest?
Fry said it was of no interest. On December 20th.
On December, and what day
Mm-hmm.
was the car found?
Uh, a day or so before that, because we know that people went out there and took pictures and
So it was a day. A,
whatnot.
a day. So they
Yeah,
had a
yeah, yeah.
day to
It
to
was
to
there
make up.
overnight at least. Yeah. Hey, Aunt Claire,
Right.
I haven't seen you in a while. So it's been, yeah, it was out there. They went out the next day, and then we heard something like a few days after. So maybe a couple of days, because we didn't hear about that right away.
Right.
Oh, and December 20th, supposedly, is when
Right.
Payne found out about BK. Yeah. Yeah, right. We'll see about that one.
Right.
We'll see how accurate that is. Yeah. So, anyway, we don't
Yeah.
seem to have people want to come up here. Come on, people, come up and talk to
Yeah. Because
me.
I'm gonna be heading out here pretty quick. So
Yeah.
I got
See, I'll be
I got.
alone and I'll be ranting and raving to myself. And I don't want to.
You want to borrow my little guy?
Yes, leave him on there so I feel like I have company. I don't know how people do it. Some people can just talk and talk and talk and talk. And yeah, I mean, yeah,
Right.
I might have to work up to that. I just haven't. I just never
Oh, you're
worked
doing
up to
fine.
that.
You're doing fine. You just
I've,
look up. A good thing to do is look up some YouTube videos to share, maybe, or something like that. And
yeah,
you know,
yeah, but that's not my
and
thoughts. And I thought this time my thoughts were valid.
yeah, well, there might be somebody out there with your thoughts exactly.
Yeah,
That's the
yeah,
thing.
yeah, exactly. So come up here and join me.
Yeah.
Don't leave me hanging. Don't leave me hanging alone. But no, the
No,
boys. I know
I
the.
definitely agree with you. I don't know what they're gonna do about this,
Mm-hmm.
and he should have he should have known he know you know what he knows better. That's what gets to me more than anything, Go,
Yep.
is that Bloom has been around long enough and he knows better. He must have been paid a pretty damn good penny to
Yep.
do what he did. And I can tell you one thing, it didn't come from the defense.
I can tell you that too. That's 100%.
Yep.
That's 100%. No, I don't know what he was promised, but I mean, the dude is gonna sell books. There's no question about it. I'm sure,
Right.
and he got a pre whatever release amount already, so he's already in the plus, right? And
Yep.
I'm sure it paid for itself because Airmail, of course, paid for his articles as well. So he's doing good. He
Yeah,
seems to be.
he's gonna make millions of dollars on it, I'm
Oh yeah,
sure.
yep, yep, yep,
Yep.
yep. So he's gonna do
Let
good.
alone let alone all the interviews and all. He's gonna book signings and blah 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 blah. He's gonna make millions of dollars,
Yep.
but it's all gonna go to Brian.
Yep. And speaking of Brian, I want to hear that, Brian. You said, I have an incredible story about the Eugene, Oregon car. Can you tell us about that one, Brian? I want to hear it because I've been on that car forever. And I think people are thinking I'm dumb by now by
No, there's
regurgitating the
something with that
Oregon.
car. There's something with that car.
Yep. 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 And I mean, I know the background of it, who it belonged to, and stuff
Yep.
like that,
So do I.
who used to own it, and how it was sold. But I don't know if that's the same thing as you have, Brian. So I would like to hear that. Yes, I
Right.
respect my elders. I respect you, Brian. I know you. I love Brian.
Yeah, we all know Brian.
Yeah. Anyway, no, you feel free to go, Tommy. I'm not keeping you hostage here. I'll be on here for a little while until somebody jumps on, or if not, I just wanted to do a real quick live here because I felt like, eh,
Yeah, I think I'll stick around a little bit here, just to monitor things because you're getting some people in here.
yeah, yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
This, I was like, no, I don't care, even if it's for three people. I'm gonna talk to three people.
Right.
It's worth it.
Well, someone will jump up sooner or later. Keep
Yeah.
putting the thing out. Someone will jump
Yeah.
up.
And honestly, again, I'm going to say it again because if somebody's listening, and I hope, there is someone out there listening that may or may not know Brian's family, have them put out a statement. This is important, I think,
Right.
in my head. Like, put
Yeah, and
out a statement.
I don't think Twiz was in here at that time, but tell Twiz, tell Willie if he has any connection to the family that he can actually get a hold of. They need to put out a statement on this Bloom book and tell him that that's a bunch of hogwash. I mean, because he's making it seem like everything that he knows what Brian's dad was even thinking in the car, and I mean, it's just a bunch of hogwash.
Hmm.
I
And
can't.
can you imagine them putting out a statement going like, this is all bullshit? What this man is saying, we'd never talk to anyone at all. We would never say something like that. We stand behind Brian 100%. Well, they need to do that. So, Twizzle, if you can
They do.
talk to Willie, I don't have Willie's contact information, but talk to Willie.
No, he's saying Willie can't contact.
Oh, okay, okay.
Can't get in contact with them.
Oh, okay.
They might be there tomorrow. They might be at the hearing, maybe, possibly. They
Well,
haven't
if
been
they
going to
are,
the
yeah, the only ones that I heard that they were there, that people saw them. So, but I don't know if they might not go tomorrow, but yeah, if anybody's
just
listening, who
Twiz.
knows?
If they are, just hollered at him
Yeah,
outside the courtroom. Just hollered at him. Make a statement about Bloom's book. Your son needs it.
yeah, yep. They're tainting your jury pool.
Yeah.
He needs the support. But also, I'm gonna do my part, as I said.
Are you sending the somebody? Miss Potts says she's backstage.
Oh shit, sorry. Oh, and Nicole, somebody in Nicole. Hello, Miss Potts, and hello,
Hello.
hello, Nicole. Good to see you
Hello.
guys.
Hello.
Hi. Hello. Hi. Hi. Can you guys hear me okay?
Is it Annie who's talking right now?
No.
No.
No,
Uh,
Nicole.
Nicole, it's a little bit muffly, but maybe if you speak up, I can hear you a little bit better.
You can
Okay.
actually
Can you hear me now?
adjust.
Better?
Let me see if I can adjust it.
Yeah, you should be able to.
Uh, Let me see. No, I can only mute
Yeah, that'd
it.
be good, Twiz. That'd be good if you could. Just holler at him.
Yeah. Okay, Nicole, I bumped up your volume a little bit, okay? Can you say something?
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes, better,
Right.
much better.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Much better. Yeah.
Annie, can you talk so I can make sure that everybody hears you?
Hello, everybody.
Hello,
Oh, yeah.
Annie.
That's good. Yep.
That's perfect. All right,
Hello.
girls. What you got for me? What do you think? What's going on?
What is it that we can do to stop Bloom? Because I think he's on a smear campaign.
Correct.
Yep.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
And I think he's a out of date author who's seeking attention, and he's getting a lot of attention.
Oh, good
Um,
one.
think that the main media is taking his word as it is because as if he's really excited about this book. Complete fiction. Someone is questioning of how he received his sources. Yes, to his little, this is Nicole, the IT support.
Nicole, I agree with you 100%. The only problem is your mic sort of goes in and out. I don't know if you're in a bad
Okay,
coverage area. I'm sorry. And I love to hear what you're
Yeah,
saying
and I
because
gotta get go. I gotta get going, girl.
thank
I gotta get going. So
okay.
that might help out. That might help out your StreamYard here with me gone. So, um,
Yeah. Thank you, Tommy.
nice
Thank
to
you for
meet you
jumping
too.
on.
And yeah, and nice meeting you too,
good night,
Nicole.
Tommy.
Yeah, and who was the other one?
All right,
Nicole and
bye.
Annie.
Nicole.
Yeah,
Yeah.
bye,
Okay.
Tommy.
It doesn't have the names there. So, all right. I love you guys, and to my family out there, I love you guys. See you tomorrow night with Cy Ray and his wife Carrie, and we shall see you later. Golf. Yeah.
Yes.
Get your
Good
venting out.
good luck tomorrow, Tommy. Good luck tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Golf. All right. You
Thank
guys take
you.
care. Yep.
Love you. Bye.
All right, bye, Tommy. I really
Okay.
love Tommy morning shows. His Java show is really good early mornings.
Correct. Yes, it is. I catch it when I can because I work. So, but can you repeat what you
Yeah.
said, Nicole? I'm so sorry because you cut in and out, and I really want to hear what
Okay.
you have to say.
All right. Is this better?
A little
Can you
bit
hear me
better.
better?
Yes.
Oh
Yes.
wow.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Because I really can't hear myself because I have the TV turned down. So I
Okay.
was saying that first I was saying what is it that we can do to stop Howard Bloom for spreading misinformation, and why is the main media is taking his complete fictional book and treating it as if is a true story, and it's
Hmm.
not. I think
Hmm.
the story, what he tells of how Brian was pacing back and forth in front of the house before he goes in, it's just complete. It's so ridiculous. Where I can't understand how people can take him seriously, and
That's true.
and right, and it makes no sense to me how people are
Hmm.
really taking this man serious, and he's a complete joke. It's
Hmm.
embarrassing, I think, but what can we do about it? Nothing.
Well, we can voice our opinions on YouTube. That's all we can do, right?
Mhm.
Like, we're
Right.
doing what we can. And as I say, I'm going to try my darndest tomorrow to get a hold of Brian's old defense attorney up in Pennsylvania, to get a hold of the family, to try to get them to put out a statement, because I think that would benefit Brian, and in my opinion. Now, what the media does with this is
Mhm.
we know they're biased. So there's absolutely nothing. This is feeding them, really, honestly. So there's nothing we can do about that. And
Well, I know Twitter is in the. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, 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 go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, because I know Twiz is in the area, and a couple of people who lives in the area. I believe Rory lives in the area as well.
Mhm. Correct.
Maybe we can put together some kind of protest in front of the courthouse when they have their hearings. Because I'm not sure when the next one will be after tomorrow. Because I'm planning to head out there, and I will have my protest T-shirt on against
Hmm.
false allegations. Because
Hmm.
this man is being completely railroaded, and yeah,
In a legal sense, correct. He is. He's being
yeah.
completely railroaded. And My
Mm.
only thing is if I was his defense attorney, and Anne
Mhm.
has a way of working, I've noticed
She
throughout the
does. She
process.
does.
And she was against having cameras in the courtroom in the beginning, and she was very protective.
Mhm.
And I think as she went along,
Mhm.
she saw the problem with media was getting bigger and bigger
Mhm.
because that
Mhm.
appetite it didn't suppress the appetite to spread
Mhm.
misinformation. And I think she realized that more and more things needed to be out in the open for not to taint the jury pool that she's working in, because ultimately she's working in
Mhm.
that area, right? So I think
Right.
it might take her a little while, but at this moment, if I were her, I would
Mhm.
I would fight tooth and nail and ungag as much as possible. I would request as
Absolutely.
much as possible to be ungagged in
Oh,
this situation.
absolutely. Absolutely. Because I believe that she, probably know the what's his name? Thompson.
Mhm.
And she probably know his style, how he works. And I think that will be an advantage for Ann Taylor. Um, but yeah, I if because I said it before on another podcast, I think that she waited too late to really speak up
Mhm.
about Brian Kohlberger's innocence, because it took what, a year and some change before she said, "I believe that my client is innocent."
Correct.
And so I believe if she would have said that from the beginning, we would have a different outcome. I believe if she would have fought to have that house not tore down, it would give a different outcome. But I think she was just being agreeable as
Mhm.
do. I think she was just playing ball. She was just getting along. She
Mhm.
was playing along to get along, and then she realized it wasn't getting her anywhere. And for Payne to be on the stand and say, "Where you got to go down to the evidence room and find the evidence yourself." What?
Yeah, that's ridiculous. You can't expect a lawyer to do that.
Impossible.
And
Right.
and it's not that you can't expect them to do it. It's sort of halfway not correct because that's an evidence room, obviously, number one. And that's not for lawyers to go into. So that's for law
No, it's
enforcement to
not.
go into. And so just that, of
Right.
course. But to your point of going there,
Right.
I physically can't right now myself, but if you are, I don't know. I mean, yeah, you can protest, and that's probably good in wearing that t-shirt. I would just be careful. Quite honestly, it scares me to think of doing something
Absolutely.
like that.
There's a comment on David Bird that there's a comment. David Bird says that AT didn't know that PK definitely innocent until the advent of Syre. What do you think about that comment?
I um I think that she might have been I don't think she held back because of her not thinking he's innocent until now. I think she had a different
Mm,
strategy in the beginning. She was really trying to protect the
I
process.
agree. I
So I
agree.
don't know if it's possible, but I don't know that that's the process I'm observing myself personally, because I what I'm
Mhm.
seeing is she was being super careful, which she thought was going to
Agree.
play out a little bit differently, but it didn't, because of the
No,
media's appetite to, like, they really, like, this is like the Salem witch trial hunts, right? Sort of. So they want this guy
mhm,
to be so guilty because of all the stuff that's
mhm,
been put out there about him. But
mhm.
I so that's my thinking, but he could be right. You could be right, David, that it could be something simple
Mm,
like that.
I think
But
that Brian said, "Hey, I was somewhere else, and my phone would prove where I was at,"
yeah,
like
I mean,
most of us would
surely,
do or
surely,
say.
yeah, she had the facts before, even before she took the
Mhm.
case. I'm sure she had the facts.
Oh,
A lot of
absolutely.
them,
And the
a lot of
only
them.
thing, right? Oh, absolutely. And the only thing that Syre did was just to double check the law enforcement work. Because you
Mhm.
remember, we was discussing. You was on another panel,
and we were saying about the FBI. I believe the FBI did turn over the cast draft. I believe that what was who was one the one that did it? Payne, or was it Payne, or was the
No,
other guy Maury?
yeah, Maori did the cast report, or
Right.
did.
And
Yeah.
I said, because I'm in IT,
Mhm.
if the FBI have the latest and the greatest version of that cast report, and Maury still have the version from 2019, it would give two completely different results. And Maury knows that.
Well, yeah, number one, because he doesn't have the what so from what
Proper
my
training.
understanding, not just proper training, but
Hmm.
you can't just have the cast report. You need the data to put into the cast reports, the proper data.
Exactly.
So if they pulled it from any other
Exactly.
day, the data wouldn't match, and that's a
Okay.
problem.
Twizzle said Maury didn't do the cast report. He just made the map
He made the
from
map,
the.
correct.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
ooh.
and
But if
that's
you
what they
look at
use
the
the
map,
grand jury.
yeah, but see, but if you were just a regular person who's in a grand jury, somebody showed you a map, and they say, well, this is what the ping gave us. As
Uh-huh.
a person in grand jury who's not sophisticated, you're going to believe what the law enforcement said
Well, yeah, yeah, of
or
course.
showing you.
Yeah.
And there was no rebuttal on from Ann's part because there was no expert to debunk their case. But the
Hmm.
first time I looked at that map, and I was like, it was almost like, and I'm like, what he's doing, going in circles or like one complete U. It didn't make any sense if you look at it, you know,
Hmm.
like for the first time. Because I know we did discuss about the PCA. And I
Yeah.
did mention that the PCA was garbage. And then a week and a half later, that's when Bill Thompson said, well, the PCA is irrelevant. So if that's the
Yeah.
case, then what part of it is relevant?
Correct. That's a good question. And how did you get to Brian? Because according to the
We,
PCA, they were what changed in the PCA, how you got to Brian. If that's not how you got to Brian, then you better tell us how you got to Brian if it's not according to
which,
the PCA.
and we still don't know how he got to Brian. No
Well,
one
no.
knows at
I
this
mean,
point.
how can you say
Well,
it's
besides
irrelevant?
right.
Yeah. So how you
It's,
got to
yeah,
Brian is mind-boggling. If the PCA is irrelevant, then how did you get to him? Right?
I,
I mean,
I think, I think what happened was they knew from the beginning that they had a shitty case, excuse my language, and
yeah.
believe that leaf sheath was planted. And for them to say his DNA was there, proving that he was there to make it more believable. Do you believe that that sheath was planted?
I've never said that. So I've never openly said that because that would take some
Mm-hmm.
gumption to do, right? And
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know. And I'm not ready to
Mm-hmm.
say either way, to be honest with you. I never really truly believe that it was planted. Let me just say that.
Mm.
Not by law
Yeah,
enforcement.
yeah.
Not by law
Well, then
enforcement.
who? So how did it get there? If it
That's a good
was
question.
there,
That's a good question.
and if that sheath was underneath the bodies for at least 10 hours, how come there was no other fibers from the blanket or DNA from the girls or one of the victims
Mhm.
on the sheet? That's
Well,
impossible.
yeah, there's a lot of things. So basically, what I think that they realized pretty quick is that the PCA
Hmm.
is exculpatory
Hmm.
to Brian, right? According
Hmm.
to his movements, according to how they got to him, all of it is exculpatory to Brian. And that's why they don't want to use it. But they cannot say that it's
Hmm.
irrelevant if it states how they,
Hmm.
if that PCA states how they got to Brian and they're now saying it's
Hmm.
irrelevant, that's not
Hmm.
possible. You can't do that. So
Hmm.
either way we go with this, sheath or no sheath, I don't even think they were,
Hmm.
they're not going to use the DNA at this point because they don't want to use the DNA because of
Mm,
how they got the DNA and what they did with it and how they treated it because they can't, prove what they did
mhm.
with it. So,
Hmm. Well,
yeah,
I've lived. I'm sorry. Was somebody saying something?
I don't know. I heard something. Annie, Brian, feel free to jump in here.
Oh no, I was just, I don't know. Am I working?
Oh,
Can you hear me?
Okay.
yes, 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 yes.
Yes.
This is really amazing. I consider myself reasonably bright, but every damn time I get up here successfully, I still am impressed with myself. Okay, I mean, and like the day they knew I had a horrible time, but I just didn't want to come burning in like I usually do and interrupt you.
No, 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 no. No, but feel free to
Mhm.
take part in
No.
the conversation.
Well, I
I've
know, but what I was going to do is something different, so I didn't want to feel like I said hi. I'm sorry. Who is the white lower box lady
that would be
person?
Nicole. That's Nicole.
Hi, Nicole. I
Hello,
didn't want to
Brian. How
come
are
in and
you?
ask Nicole and change the subject, so I
No,
was
no.
trying to be cool.
No. No. Well, let me add something, and then you can go ahead and say your piece, Brian. Now,
Okay.
golf. I lived in Chicago, south side of
Love.
Chicago, southeast DC. I'm right outside of Baltimore. And all of these places were really known for planting evidence,
Hmm.
planting drugs, planting whatever they do to get a conviction.
Hmm.
And so, well, thank you, Twizzle. He said I'm a straight up G. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, I'm pretty bad. Thank you. Um,
Hmm.
with that being said, so actually seen or I collected a bunch of articles where they showed where police were planting evidence. And one article, it was one police cam on and show him
Hold on,
saying
Nicole, you're cutting in and
another.
out again. Hold on, hold on. I
Okay,
don't want. I
okay,
hate to
I'm so
interrupt
sorry.
you, but I just want to make sure you're aware. You were cutting in and out. So say that again. I'm sorry.
Okay, okay. No, I was saying that I've actually collected a bunch of articles that show
Hmm.
where police have planted evidence. And so
Yes.
I believe that the Moscow Police Department planted that sheaf to get a more solid conviction. And the reason why I said that is because you're going to see Moscow Police Department only have about 30 officers. And
Hmm.
you're going to tell me they are 30 officers with limited resources were able to solve this crime in about 2 months or less?
Hmm. No, I
And I
and
find
and
that
I hear you.
impossible.
I hear you on that, and I agree. I just honestly,
Impossible.
yes, and I'm just out of like I've been always looking at trying to look at the facts, right? Okay, today I stared out
Mhm,
of my fact zone a little bit and threw in a
mhm.
conspiracy or two, but I'm trying not to conspiracize this too much and just look at what's in court documents and what they presented and coming from it from that perspective, right? So
Right,
I
right,
that's why I say
right.
I can't put myself there right now where something like that would have it is quite possible, obviously, because it does happen and we hear
Mhm.
about it, and
And we
it,
hear
and
about it.
we
Mhm,
exactly, we know that happens. So, did it happen? I
mhm.
don't know, but I'm trying not to
Right,
go there myself and see,
right.
okay, because ultimately, honestly, we don't even have to because this case is so dumb to begin with, right? So we don't almost not even have to go there to be
I
like,
think,
okay, factually,
oh,
this is
absolutely. But if you look at the Karen Reed case,
Mhm.
right? Was not that a clear, um, obvious case of what the police did? They actually
Yes,
falsified the evidence. What makes this
correct.
case any different? And what makes this case any different?
It doesn't really, but that's what I'm saying is like,
Mm,
let's get the facts out on what's out there
right.
right now, right?
Yes.
And let's
Right. Right.
go by that. And then once we get to like that process, when that comes into
Mhm.
the picture, oh my God, that's when
Mhm.
I'm gonna start discussing it too, right? But up until then,
Yeah,
I
'cause it
don't know. I don't know. I
Yeah.
suspect probably they did something. I'm sure they cut corners and did stuff that, they're not
It,
supposed to do. You bet they did, you know.
oh,
I'm
absolutely.
100% sure.
If if I had $1 million, I would bet $1 million that that chief was planted.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, because if you, I mean, look, if you go back and you go back and you listen to the trial, and I did at least about 20 times. I mean, not the trial, the
Mhm.
hearing with Maury and Payne, it's clear that those guys are not all that bright. All right, like I said before. So there's,
Stop being
and it's,
so
but and it's,
kind.
and you can tell that they really didn't do an investigation. They was pointing fingers at other people. They
Mhm.
all did. I mean, if this is one of the biggest case, in your town, in the world, in the country right now, you would at least know the case like the back of your hand.
Mhm.
I haven't heard so many. I don't know. Well, we was told, because they were so proud of that PCA. Then for Payne to say, "Hey, well, I was just told to put this down."
Mhm.
What?
And I
So if
agree
he
with
was
you.
told to do it, then where is the investigation? The PCA is based on what was investigated, not what somebody tell you to write down
Mhm.
and cut and paste it. So
Mhm.
it's scary where you have people with that much power over someone's livelihood and just things up, and you're just writing and notating to get to be released. Because I mean, it could be another not to be political, another Julian Assange situation where
Yep.
he was actually away for 15 years.
Mhm.
If you
That's
add up when
crazy.
he was in the consulate for 10
Yeah.
years,
Yep. Yep. True.
and
But
that's
see,
scary because. Mhm.
and but just as a side note to all this, and I agree with you 100%. The only reason I don't put myself there, and I think this might be a good analogy, is because I would feel
Okay.
like I was a Howard Bloom. You know what I mean? Putting out that
No.
information that, you know what I mean? Like it would feel, for me, it
Oh.
feels dirty in that sense. I'm trying to stick to what we know as factual, right? So
Mm,
for me,
yeah.
it would feel a little bit like almost halfway. I would be like a Howard Bloom. For me personally, now, I can agree with what you're saying. Absolutely. I just don't want to put my mind there at all,
Right.
basically.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, I completely agree with you on that. But when this case is coming out, I really didn't start paying attention to the case until they said that he was an incel. And I'm like, wait a minute.
Mhm.
Like, what proof do you have of that? For you just
Uh-huh.
say something like that? Because when I first heard it, and they were saying that they were, that they passed away, the victims passed away in their sleep. And one of the first questions I said, how did they know that?
Mhm.
How were they dressed? Were they still dressed in their street clothes? Did they wear pajamas? That was, one of the first things that came to mind. And then
Mhm.
before that, and I thought it was a rug deal that went bad, or a
Mhm.
jealous boyfriend.
Yeah, that's what it
But,
sounded like.
but right, but to have a complete stranger just to say, oh, he was jealous of two girls being friends.
Mhm.
That's what a female would be jealous of someone's
Mhm.
friendship, but not a guy. And in the
Yeah.
age of internet dating, because I used to be on Tinder and Bumble, you can, if somebody turn you down, all you got to do is go back on that phone and turn on that app, and
Mhm.
you got you another date.
Yep. Exactly. Exactly. No,
So for them
yeah.
to
No, I mean, and I wouldn't put it
come
past
on
them.
now.
As I say, I know police do a lot of corrupt stuff in any case, like a
Mm,
hundred percent, a
yeah.
100%. But we can do better as a community by maybe not indulging into some of these
Hmm.
like that come out, is how I feel personally. But I agree with
Yeah.
you 100%. And it is
Yeah.
getting out of hand. What we're seeing now, though, for me personally, and why I
Hmm.
was like, is because I see this as a bigger picture where I believe, and yeah, I could be totally wrong, but this is the first time I really ventured into like that conspiracy theory arena, is that they fed this man,
Mhm.
Howard Bloom, information, i.e., law
Mhm.
enforcement, with this
Mhm.
agenda in mind. This because they know they have a shit case. This is
Oh,
all pre-planned.
I completely agree. And look at the timing of it. Like Nancy Grace just did a piece on this new revelation. Here it is the day before the
Mhm.
hearing.
Yep, exactly.
All this stuff is
Very clever.
calculated because they know
Yep.
that they have. I'll be surprised if this go to trial. I'll be completely surprised if this go to trial. The
Yeah,
prosecution do not have enough evidence to me
they do not.
to
They do
convict
not.
Brian on four, and it's the same thing in for your listeners, because Twizzle know me because I was on another channel talk about my brother's case who was falsely accused, and he had
I remember it.
15 felony
I remember it.
charges.
I think I talked to you at
Yeah,
that time too. Yes, I remember
yes,
it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I actually saw him for the first time over the weekend since the charge has been dropped.
Mhm.
Where does he
And
live? Where does he live, Nicole?
Indiana. I'm from Indiana.
Oh God,
Yeah,
that's
Nicole put
terrible.
Hmm.
together the whole case.
Sure
She
did.
is the one that actually got him out of, but she had to do it because he had a public defender, right? Am I
No,
correct?
no, no.
No?
I
No?
wish
Oh,
Good
you
for
paid for it.
you.
That's right, you
I
paid for it.
I pay,
Yeah,
I paid 20K for that lawyer who
yeah,
did
yeah, that's right.
nothing.
That's
Good
right.
I
for you.
wish
Yeah,
I would have,
yeah.
and that's the money you don't get back. Okay,
Yep.
so it's scary because I wish that we would have had or found a public defender just as diligent
Mhm.
as Ann Taylor, because that would have saved me, some money as well. But
Yeah.
yeah, I investigated the case. One of the first thing I did was, Brian, I actually broke down the PCA. I broke it down line by
What was the
line,
name of
and
the
I
case?
and you
What
can
was?
I mean you can Google it if you want. You can Google
Yeah,
it.
well, no, yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
So
yeah, I would love.
I will put it in the chat. But yeah, my brother, yeah, because the article that was in the newspaper was actual the PCA. They took the
Yeah,
PCA and made into an
so funny.
article, and so yeah, they said that my brother beaten, hard, strangled, drugged, everything, and it was malicious, and they never used the word alleged at
Mhm.
all. And so one of the first thing I did was I took the PCA and I just dismantled the PCA and I got my brother's version of what occurred on the night in question. And I actually typed that out. And then we got the evidence, which was the text messages, which was 44 pages. She said that they did like all the communication was through Facebook, which I found weird. And I was like, how come y'all didn't talk on the phone? But she wanted to do all the communication on Facebook. And because this happened in 2017. So when I looked at the Facebook messages, I saw over 15 deleted messages. And I didn't know that you can delete messages in Facebook. And I looked it up and it turned out Facebook did not have that tool, that delete tool until January of 2019, which I put in the evidence as well. And also, Miss Golf, what I didn't include in the last interview that I did, that my brother has a baby with this young lady.
Mhm.
Okay. And so she told everybody that, well, she failed to tell the police about this child. She didn't tell the detective. She didn't tell the prosecutor. I was the one that told his lawyer.
So, but he
And
knew. Your brother knew, right? Like obviously.
yes, yes.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
what she did was because she told my brother. My brother used to live down in Texas, so my brother was
Mhm.
out of state when she told him. And then when he went back to Indiana to see the child, that's when she ghosted him. So what she did was she went and told her family that she got impregnated during the night in question. Makes sense? Which was in August. The child was born the following year in July. And I'm like, unless she's a whale, you can't carry a child for almost a year.
She's
And
like
so
me
what
with
I
math.
so what I did was, because everybody posts all their personal information on Facebook, and I went back on this young lady's Facebook page, which she did not block my brother for one, and it was still open. She didn't make it privatized. So I
Oh,
went, yeah. So I went back.
you caught
I
her.
screenshot. Yeah,
Yeah.
so I screenshot her entire Facebook page going back several years.
Uh-huh.
And so I got, birthday pictures of the little girl, which is a beautiful little girl, by the way. And I did. So I looked at the birth date. I did a reverse conception calendar, and it showed the date of when the date of when the child could have been conceived. Matched that
Mhm.
up with the text messages on the night when he says, "Hey, I'm on my way. I'm about to come and pick you up." Because mind you, the young lady told the police that after the night in question, she never saw my brother again.
Hmm.
So they had a whole fling that whole summer, and she
Mhm.
intended
Oh.
to keep him.
Mhm.
Yeah. And so
So
again, if she was,
does he have any contact with the child now, or with his daughter, or
or
no?
my brother, no, we
Yeah.
now we
Oh, we lost you, Nicole. Hold on. Hello, Nicole. Oh,
the families in the state of India.
I think we
I'm sorry.
lost you there, Nicole, for a second. We couldn't hear what you were
Okay.
saying. So,
Okay. I'm sorry.
yeah, did you say he had uh, access to his daughter, or no?
No, 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 no. In the state
No.
of Indiana, because he went down to the family services
Uh-huh.
to request a DNA. They told him since he do not have a birth certificate or a social security number, he cannot put in a request for DNA. So now we're looking to have it done legally. So now I
I
got to do my, yeah, because
yeah.
that is my niece. And
Mhm.
I know it is. That is
Mhm.
my niece. The little girl looked like me when I was a baby.
Aw, that
Yeah,
hurts
just
even more.
yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah, and we're fighting to be in this child's life because what the mother is telling her and her family that her father is a R word, and
mhm.
that is not true. And I believe, I think there are some mental issues going on,
Mhm.
that she wanted more than what my brother wanted because again he moved down to Texas
Mhm.
before he knew that she was pregnant because he moved to Texas in November and she told him in December,
Mm.
and he was already in Texas. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when you told that story. I think it was we were on Dago's show and we were talking, and
It
yeah.
was Willie's show. I think it was
Oh,
Willie's.
Willie's. Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
it
was
was
Willie's
fantastic.
show.
I mean, thank you for sharing that, and again, thank you for
Yeah.
praying. So
Oh
yeah, I
no
mean,
worries.
had he had someone like Ann Taylor, he would
Oh,
have been like, and it
absolutely.
would have not cost you 20 grand to get your brother,
Right. Yeah.
prove your brother innocent in this case.
Right. And for those to say that, for your listeners to say, hey, if if I have the innocent, if I had the evidence that I would be out of jail, that is not true. I
No,
provided
no.
the evidence. I gave I mailed from here um, the evidence packet to the lawyer, and I mailed it because I still have the receipt,
Hmm.
October of 22. She didn't get to look at the evidence or didn't start talking about it until April of 23. And we didn't have a deposition, which is equivalent to a preliminary hearing, until August, September of 23.
Mm,
So it is
uh,
a lengthy
process.
process.
Yeah, yeah.
Right, right. And we've been sitting on the evidence waiting. So it's just a matter of time. Now
Hmm.
everybody keeps saying trial, trial, trial. But
Hmm.
my question is this though, they already had a grand jury for indictment. Do we still have to go through another preliminary hearing and or deposition to move forward with a trial?
Um, that is a good question. I don't think they need to per se, but
Mm.
if you mean if they go back on the grand jury?
I'm not sure because I thought that there had to be an exchange of evidence because the defense team still do not have all their evidence. So the
Yeah,
evidence have to be exchanged in front of a judge at one point, and one of the parties have to be there. So the defense team has to be there. So
yeah.
that's what I'm a little confused about. But every state is different because in my brother's case, and this is what I told him, you have to have a deposition before you go to trial. The
Hmm.
deposition will determine if there's enough evidence to go to trial. So at this point, I see that the prosecution, Bill Taylor, do not have enough evidence. How
Hmm.
can we go to trial
Well,
if we don't have
I
some kind of?
that's a good question, but I don't think that they're worried about that now. I'm guessing what she's
Mm,
doing is working up to an, drop the charges. Uh,
I think so
hopefully,
too. Oh yeah, I
that's
think
what she's
so as
working on.
well.
Mm.
Yeah,
I,
and
I,
as
I,
yeah, because
just, I don't think it'll make it. It's just, I don't think it'll make it to trial. Just period. She doesn't even have to do anything. It's ridiculous.
Well,
well,
they've
she does have to do
sure
something. She
trying.
have to file motions.
Hmm. They
No, I
sure are
don't think.
trying.
No, I don't think that there's. What can they go to trial on?
Well, no, I mean
Every
that's
they've discharged. They've thrown out everything. They don't do IgG. They're not doing the DNA. Like, what are
correct.
they still doing? Bushy eyebrows? What are they doing?
Yeah,
Mm.
that's a good question because obviously it's not that we need to know, but the defense needs to know. Like, how did you
Well,
get
no,
to
but I don't
Brian?
know what the
What do
word for
you?
that is. Is that
Yeah.
was what is the word for that? That there's nothing at the ultimate. What I'm saying is nothing will be admitted. What can they admit? They already
Mhm.
tossed out IgG.
Mhm.
They've tossed out the what do you call it? The parents' deed, the ancestry stuff. What else? Tell me name one thing they have to say
Well,
we
the
should.
route is about to get tossed out. He
Right.
took.
Okay. So now we're down to three.
They also tossed out him being a stalker.
Right. So they
Um,
said, what do I go to trial with? What do I got? Nothing. But
Nothing.
what is
I
the
mean,
word for that though? Is that
it's
word
called drop
mistrial?
the charges. It's called drop the
Oh no, but
charges.
but so Anne has to ask to drop the charges when there are no charges. How do I
I don't
drop
know.
any?
Annie, what do you think? I think Annie's really good at the law, at law stuff as well. What do you think, Annie?
What do I think about which part, honey?
No, what Brian was asking.
Like, what is the legal word if it's actually ending up to be where that won't be admitted, that won't be admitted, that won't be admitted, that won't be
Suppression.
suppression is the formal word.
Yeah, like they'll file motions to suppress anything that's
Okay.
not
So
right.
then, so if you should, I have five things in my hand, and you toss out four. What am I then going to court with? See, because it's all going away.
Oh well, yeah. And Elisa Masseth said that at the last hearing that pretty soon the motions to suppress are going to fly. So it is what it
Yeah.
is.
But
Yeah,
okay then. But then you guys are saying that the system will do it to where it's like drop
the
the
process.
charges, and I'm like, there's no charges. I mean, there's no evidence. If they're not going to admit anything, then that how can that be called dropping?
Well, because if the state decides that they're so if what's
Oh, I
happening if what's happening is what Elisa Masseth is suggesting at the last hearing, she is suggesting that there is an entire other case being put together by the state, that they are
oh,
seeking alternate suspects, they are doing an alternate case, and they are hiding it behind Brian's case. That is what she suggested.
okay, so it would still be called dropping the charges.
It
See, I
would
have the
be
order wrong. I
dismissal.
don't know
It would
how.
be dismissal.
Dismissal. Yeah. Sorry, I said it wrong incorrectly.
Okay, all right, okay, that makes
Yeah.
more sense. Dismiss the case. You guys got nothing. But
Because
then
they,
everyone got quiet when I asked you, what do they have? They have nothing.
well, I mean, they still have charges against him that they need to
No,
drop.
but
So
I'm
it
saying
is,
in terms
yeah.
of everything in the PCA, month after month after month, oh, we're not going to use this, we won't use that. We won't tell you, we don't have evidence, we don't have all.
Oh,
I mean, at some point, you have to get to a place where it's like, guys, we kind of like it's kind of done. What are we going to go to
So,
court with?
do you guys believe that Bill Thompson is buying time because they have until September, right, to turn over everything? So,
No,
what
I
is
don't.
that?
You know what I think? I think he has deliberately, he wants his retirement. He knows darn well they're busted. I do not think the stalker outburst was accidental. I think he is trying to like slowly move it, just be done with it. He wants to go fishing. He's tired. He knows they've lied all along. He's watching all his shit fall apart. I think he wants his retirement. And who'll blame him? I mean, all of them can go to jail for all this bullshit. If anyone can prove that this is all total overt bullshit, that's a crime.
yeah.
Wouldn't you want to just go away and retire?
What do you think, Annie? Sorry, you dropped there for a second.
Yeah, I totally hit the wrong button.
Oh, I'm not the only one that does it. No, what do you think? I mean, I think I do not buy that the little stalking outburst was completely impulsive. I mean, and that's pretty huge. To scream out like that, no stalker, when that was from day two, the president of the university started with the stalking nonsense. That
Yes.
was pretty huge and pretty significant for this dude to yell out in open court on air that there's no stalking. That's huge. I don't think it was an accident. I think he's ready to go.
Mhm.
And I think he knows. And I think a lot of us all really kind of think, and I only know this from I had a close relationship whose husband, with a colleague of mine whose husband was a prominent judge, and they are all friends, you guys. They go out drinking, they go boating,
Mama.
know each other. So this whole notion, it's the same thing with Cara and Maddie's stepmom. They know each other, they're friends, they socialize. They know their ship is sinking, and he wants to retire. You really believe that he just accidentally screamed out, "We never said Kaylee was being stalked"? Like that was a mess up?
Well, no, I mean, he didn't say that. I mean, sorry, he didn't do that. He was in the PCA. It
Oh,
wasn't
in
just something
court.
they said. Yeah, but in court too, he said it, but it was in the PCA. The stalking was in the PCA. It wasn't just something that, he threw out there or made up or the media
Oh,
made up. It
that's a
was,
problem, though. When all of a
yeah,
sudden, if it's in
yeah,
your PCA and you allegedly accidentally explode that whole thing in my PCA that I'm connected with is a lie, that's a rather significant oops.
Well,
yeah.
what if your idiot lead detective accidentally confused stalking, with something else because, you know, I mean, I'm just saying, maybe it wasn't stalking.
Then what was it?
But then, yeah. So then, where are
That,
you going?
listen, for all we know, he was paid to be watching somebody. There's such thing as
Oh,
private investigators and things
hey,
like
and there's
that.
also undercover cops, people all along. I said
I
Brian
don't
was
believe he's an
undercover for
undercover cop.
Pullman.
He's not a
He got
cop.
the internship. I absolutely believe that. There has been no reason ever that Washington State University denied and refused to openly acknowledge to the public who got the internship. It's public money. The previous internship was announced. It was a huge ordeal. She was a female. She was working on traffic cams. Well, give me one reason why, if he did offer Pullman, if Paul Pullman offered Brian the job and they refused to discuss it, that's undercover. I think Brian was absolutely involved in this, but totally from the other side. Come on, he's a brilliant
No, because if
criminologist.
he was undercover, they would never reveal him at all.
They would never
They
what?
don't do that to people who's undercover. They never do that. In what case have there be an undercover agent and they were revealed? Never.
No, no, no. I'm saying that I think he was involved in 1122 area because of the drugs, and that was what he did get the Pullman interview, the job at the Pullman interview.
So
Why didn't we
you
all
think
know about?
Moscow Police Department accidentally framed an undercover officer?
No, no. What I think happened was that they
Mm,
didn't know. Okay,
mm,
that he had been hired by Pullman for undercover for the internship. Okay,
mm.
why? It's public money. It's good PR. Why would you not boast that you now have a brilliant criminologist in grad school in your force? I mean, whether we like him or not, he's a pretty sharp dude. I mean, what all behavior is meaning. Why adamantly refuse to tell the world who got the thing? We all found out that he interned with him, that he interviewed. Why?
Well,
We
because
all
that
saw the
was,
email.
yeah, we also, that's a good question, is like, why did we, you're talking more about why was that put out there in the open, is what you're saying?
Well, no, but then have they adamantly refused to say who got that position for the semester Brian was in there? They've publicized the semester before, the girl, the
Mhm.
traffic cams. It's a big deal. They brag about that thing.
Mhm.
And I found out all this in the beginning, but that's like a really big deal. They're proud of um, a WSU grad student getting the internship, being awarded the internship. Why on this time are they totally silent and we've never heard one more word about it?
Mm.
It just wasn't.
I think Brian's connection to the case is through Bethany, and they've been telling
Yeah,
us
but
that
then
for a
wouldn't that
while.
be drugs? Wouldn't that be drugs?
I don't know. I don't know. Probably not. I don't think it has anything to do with drugs. I think that, I think that him and Bethany probably met. They know each other, dating, whatever. Personally, that's what I think.
Um,
It makes sense.
but you know what?
He can't date at WSU because he's a teacher's
Oh
assistant.
no, that's fair. You true. That's
It would
true.
make sense that he's going to date from the closest other school, which would be Moscow.
Okay.
To me, it
Huh.
just makes
That's
perfect
interesting.
sense.
So
And
And
his defense team has been saying from the very beginning, Bethany is the exculpatory material witness. And
and I do. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I believe wasn't Bethany was arrested at Huawei Park?
at what?
Yes.
I have
Beth
absolutely zero.
Bethany was arrested.
Okay, wait. Didn't come through.
Bethany was not arrested at all for a DWI anywhere near Huawei Park. So I'm not
Oh,
exactly sure where
okay.
that came from, but we have her record,
Mhm.
and she definitely doesn't have an arrest for a DWI.
Oh, she,
Okay.
oh, okay.
Huh.
So that was all
You guys are
rumored.
bringing in some neat stuff. I never thought
Yeah,
about.
So,
And so all of a
unfortunately,
sudden,
there's
I'm thinking
a lot of misinformation.
mhm,
Sadly,
okay.
no,
well,
Okay.
yeah,
So we can
okay.
put
So are
that
you all
away.
ready for some more misinformation? Were you
You
all
think
ready
that
for
they
some
might
more?
have you think that they might have passed by each other at the park before?
Uh,
mm, no,
uh,
Okay.
Are you going
no.
back to the pool
bugs me,
party?
but
I think they probably met on a dating website.
Oh, I
okay.
thought you were going to talk about the pool party.
Or
Well, that's
OnlyFans.
what I mean. It could have been the pool party. They could have just met on a dating website. I mean,
Mhm.
they were,
Wow.
we have search warrants for Tinder. We have the search warrant for,
Yes.
do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
No, I
So
agree.
so I thought Bethany had a boyfriend. Did she had a boyfriend or were in a relationship at the
I
time
mean,
of the crime?
No,
mean
one,
nothing. We're talking about
Dylan.
college
No,
kids.
no. they're drugs though. One of the boys for one of those two survivors was related to drugs. The father had a criminal thing with drugs. Name the names of either Maddie, no, not Maddie, Bethany or Dylan's boyfriends. One of them had a huge drug issue past.
Well, that's what they say though. They say Quinn's dad was
That's
it
the
was in
name. That's the name.
prison.
Yes.
Yeah, Quinn's dad
That's
was in
Dylan's
prison.
boyfriend.
I mean,
Okay, but that's who I was talking about. Was Quinn? Okay.
I can guarantee you could throw a dart in a room and you're going to hit someone who has an issue with drugs or knows someone who does drugs or whose family member does drugs or has been arrested for drugs.
Oh, he's scary looking.
You know, I personally don't believe that Quinn has anything to do with it. Personally, I just don't. I think if Quinn had anything to do with it, he'd probably already be arrested by now. I say that because of
I'm
the.
totally disagree. I'm totally 100% convinced drugs is the key. I totally believe Xana's mom and Maddie's stepmom were the total reason why their kids were killed. I think it was a message hit. I
Well,
think it was very effective because in 18 months, not one person has opened their mouth,
I
including
don't
Brian.
disagree with you that drugs could be a factor. I just don't think that that's what actually is the motive for the
No,
crime.
see, and I totally disagree with you, my dear. From 3 weeks in, I absolutely went to drugs. It's too much of a message killing. It's too gross. It's too disgusting. It's too vile. It's too many people. From day two, the media started describing the house as a drug house. And then I got in so much trouble on here for like 5 months when I kept trying to go to drugs with the little pretty Kaylee and the pretty Xan and everything. Boy, I got huge trouble. It's a party house. They all have boyfriends, so why on earth is their house filled with boys all the time? Drugs, partying. Why are they all coming out with handcuffs on their wristband? Those things where you tie each other up? That's sex parties. That's ecstasy behavior.
No, that's a drinking game. That's a college drinking game.
Yeah, no, but included with that is Molly. That white girl, jacket girl at the grub truck. Oh, guys, tell me you couldn't tell by watching her that she wasn't starting to get off on ecstasy. She was climbing on the dude in the grub truck video. Do you know which one I'm talking about? The white jacket girl that was climbing. That's like ecstasy on set. So I went back and looked earlier in the grub truck, and sure enough, because I wanted to see if she had a bottle of water, and sure enough, and I chuckled aloud. Sure enough, she did. Because when they're doing ecstasy, you have to drink water.
Right, but like, how much ecstasy do you think that these kids had to be in possession of for someone to want to go in and stab all four of them?
Yeah.
No.
What would you estimate how many pills would have to be in that house?
No, I'm talking drugs. I'm talking about Xana's mom flipped. Maddie's stepmom flipped. Both of those felons were in Idaho. They have a 3 strikes and you're out. Okay. And for that 3 strikes felony, that is life in prison. Life. Both Maddie and Xana's mom were at 3rd strike, you're out. They ratted. Nora's plea.
I do have a question for Anne though. And what is your belief on what the motive about this crime? Because you did say that you believe there are different motives. So what do you believe is the motive?
I don't.
If it's not the drugs, then what else?
It's okay.
I mean, I don't know. Brian doesn't have any
I don't think that
we don't have bedwetting. We don't have animal abuse. We don't protection. We don't have alleged sexual abuse. We have a family system where the parents remain married. That family system produced three white collar professionals. The parents are still involved and married. I mean, we have no classic signs of serial killer at all.
No, she doesn't fit the profile.
At all, zero. No
But
bedwetting. He performed academically. He didn't have a aggressive physical, fighting with other dudes. He wasn't burning up cockroaches. He wasn't fascinated with fire.
well,
I've always
so
thought that his this visual snow was actually somatoform disorder and a symptom related from serious mental illness. I mean, the guy obviously suffers with mental issues. Okay.
mm,
And I think he got confused with making the visual snow, and it's really somatoform is psych. Okay. And you don't perform academically when you can't see. He doesn't wear glasses. So, what is the visual snow? He got his driver's license. To be able to complete grad school, master's, excel in school, you have to be able to see. So your eyes are working. I think I think all that stuff and the heroin all indicates to a troubled young man
Oh, baby.
psychologically. But he
well,
doesn't have any
Brian,
sign. Yes.
Brian. So
Mhm.
your theory, sort of bringing it back to Howard Bloom here for a second. Your theory falls right in line with what Howard Bloom claims that the defense is going to rely on, which is the drug theory.
Well, no,
So,
what happened for me was when I really exploded into the mom and the stepmom, and it was actually Neeks Peaks who did it. And she
mm,
was fascinating. She bought up a calendar, and it was like stunning to me. It was November 7th is when Nora got all her felony drug trafficking charges reduced.
mm-hmm,
Then November 13th happens. Then November 17th is when Cara gets all her felony third strike and you're out, threat of life in prison dropped. That is a 3-week period. And two of their kids get viciously slaughtered. And then, if we ponder this, Kaylee wasn't supposed to be there. So, I guess if you end up to kill Maddie and she's there, you kill her. And if you have to, the target's Xana because that mom and Ethan's there, you kill him. So, yeah, I absolutely think it was a. And let's be very honest here, you guys. The message was shut up. We all shut up. Not one person in 17 months has uttered a word. I kind of think that was a pretty successful message. And I think that the reason why Brian Kohlberger has been silent, he's afraid they'll kill his family. These are not nice people.
well,
Okay, these are really serious
I don't know
people.
if they would go to that length though, because you go in there. If that's the case, wouldn't a gun would be more sufficient for that? Why would you have to
No,
make it
no,
so
but don't.
personal?
Well, I don't know. Isn't it more yeah, more? You
I
better shut up if you chopped up my kid. I mean, to me, come
I
on.
mean,
For all of
I
us in the
think
first 3 weeks, it was graphic.
this
So,
was
and
this
I
is a
think that
graphic.
was the
It seems very personal to me, more than just a drug hit, but that's just me because it seemed
you
more.
see, and I think of it as message, and it worked.
Mm,
One person has spoken, and
yeah,
then like, why are all these cops? Cops are people too, and they have families.
yeah.
Okay, Brian hasn't said one word. He's got a family. These
Well,
people will
he's
kill you.
he's also not able to really talk because of his
No, but I'm
position.
saying, in the beginning,
Yeah, yeah,
that
yeah.
they're all scared of these people. They said, this is what we will do to you if you narc us out and ruin our money flow. And Ethan and Kaylee, sadly, were just there. Why
Mm.
was Kaylee scared to death to go back to her best friends?
Well,
All behavior has meaning.
I
Why?
wanna I wanna revisit your theory on the Eugene, Oregon car. But first, Nicole asked the question, and I would like Annie to answer it. If you want to answer it, Annie, what is your theory on what happened, Annie?
Question.
Mm,
All
If you want to
okay,
be
behaviors
there.
lead.
so originally, obviously, first moment of hearing about it, I originally suspected it was a like hazing incident gone very wrong. But then when more details started coming out, obviously, I mean, I've had my suspicions of certain things, but then, probably about 4 months ago or so, I decided that I was just gonna like go back and just look at the documents. Only look at the documents, nothing else. And I just put out everything else that everybody else has said, all the rumors, all the misinformation. And I just looked at what the police were doing.
Hmm.
And I changed my opinion. And I'm of the opinion that there is likely either A, not even a killer,
Ooh.
or B, if there is one, they actually, there's likely more than one. It was more than one perpetrator, and I wouldn't doubt it if by now they actually know exactly who.
So
Okay,
when you
so
say
are
they
you
were,
still saying hazy though
wait, wait,
today?
wait. But before you go there, when you say
Okay.
they were no killer, what do you mean by that? Because I'm curious about that.
I mean that I think this was an incident between the four
Oh,
Oh, that's a
that
pretty intense incident.
that got very out of hand.
hmm. Okay. I see what you mean.
Interesting.
Wow, that is really awful. My God.
No,
Be
because I
nice to
do
your friends,
believe that
guys.
Dylan, I do believe that Dylan is involved in some way, shape, or form. I
And
believe
see,
her statement.
I connect
That
them both
I believe.
to Emma Bailey drugs. Emma Bailey on the
Mm,
body cam when Xana answers the door, when the cops are walking up the driveway on that body cam, you can see Emma Bailey exiting 1122. She was
anonymous.
very close to the two survivors. And we have a house that has a room that's paid for that's empty. And that's exactly how
So
they do it. They store drugs in that unoccupied room. So if any drugs are found, nobody knows who it is.
I
And
do have a
Emma,
question. So why are we calling Dylan and Bethany survivors when they really didn't survive anything? I do question if they were actually in the home. What proof
no,
that we
because I
have
can't
besides
remember
what
their
they
names.
said that they were actually in the home on the night in question?
Can't remember their names. That's the only reason why I'm calling them survivors.
I mean, if
Because
you
I
just
because
you just go
yeah,
back
because
and
I
look
just called them unharmed. They wasn't harmed. They didn't survive anything. They weren't beaten. They wasn't attacked. They weren't, they didn't survive anything. They were unharmed, or in some case, I don't think that they were even there because
Okay, but
Dylan
we all do.
account doesn't make any sense. Her account sounds made up, as
But
if
we all do have
she
solid
wasn't
evidence
there.
of the fact that Emma was a known big, huge drug dealer in Moscow, correct? We have proven evidence of that.
Well,
Yes, that Emma.
she was caught doing that in
We have
Washington.
we have live video of her pulling substances out of her body cavities in the police department.
Well, we don't know what that is 100%, what she pulled out, but we've
Oh, no,
seen it.
come on.
Yes. I don't know what she
Yes, we
pulled
saw
out,
it.
but yeah, yeah, we saw
Right,
it.
she pulled it out, put it in the garbage can. Yes, we actually
Yes.
saw that on Rory's
Oh,
Yeah.
no,
channel.
and her face sure as hell didn't look like she was moving drugs. Come on, guys. She's pulling drugs out of her body cavity. And it's been widely reported and known. She was arrested for murder, and amazingly, they're in Hawaii now. I don't know. Come on. No, and I'm not being nasty. It gets me thinking. But no, I think the connection
yeah,
is Emma. I think the connection is
Go ahead,
Emma.
Annie. Annie, go ahead.
I agree.
You what?
what?
No, Annie said something. I think Annie said something.
Oh, I was just I didn't, yeah. Well, you know, I get it. We all get it. Brian thinks it's drugs, 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 drugs. But, you know,
Yeah.
I feel like if you go back and you actually just look at the documents from the very beginning, there's one person solely that they're focused on the entire time. There's only one focus. She's the main focus. It's who for all the warrants and everything. It's, you know, it's her. And I always suspected it was because they thought she was the main target. And I changed my mind since then. A few months
Wait,
back,
who are
I
you
changed
talking
my mind.
about?
I
Who
think
do
that
you think
they
is the
likely
main?
were looking at her as the main suspect. If you
Mhm.
want my honest opinion, that is who I believe the police were looking at from day one.
Okay,
As
which
When you
one are you
say
talking
her,
about?
are you pertaining to Dylan
no, not at all.
or Emma?
I'm pertaining to a victim.
Oh, you're
Oh,
going Kaylee.
Haley.
See, I think they did the whole Kaylee thing to throw everybody off of Xana
No, that's
and
who they were literally focused on for the first 30 days before
yeah.
Brian's name was ever mentioned. The only person they focused
No,
on
but
was her.
they threw out Kaylee immediately because they all knew that the real targets were Xana and Maddie because they both knew that the week before it happened,
So they know that the
Maddie's
targets
stepmom ratted
that
out a bunch of drug
warrants
dealers.
for getting are for Kaylee.
Say
Okay.
that
I'm sorry,
again,
what?
Annie. Say
I
that
said,
again.
so
Thank
he's
you.
saying that they knew that Xana and Maddie were the real targets, but they had to throw everybody off and get warrants for only Kaylee.
Yeah, they totally were trying to throw everybody off the fact that this was a drug hit because the week before it happened, Maddie's mom obviously turned. She got all her charges flipped. The
Then they
only way
wouldn't
you
need
do that
warrants
is
at that
you
point.
rat
At
out
that
on
point,
people.
they could just say that this was a fight amongst the roommates that got out of control, and then they don't need to frame anybody, and they don't need to do anything. It was just a fight that got out of control.
No, I think that they're hiding the drug problem.
Mm.
If it's a drug case that they're trying to hide, they didn't have to do any of this to hide it. Is the point I'm getting at?
Yeah, that makes
I
sense.
mean,
No, I think
right, because
no,
they
I think
can be more than one motive. You know what I'm saying? Because who to say that drug wasn't the cause? I mean,
Yeah,
that's a really interesting. Yeah.
if they just wanted to hide that this was a drug house or some kind of drug thing gone wrong, there was much easier ways, and they definitely didn't have to do any of what's happened over the last.
Somebody's American Princess is asking, what is a trap house?
Mm.
it's
Well,
it's a 112 thing. It basically is
Brian
a
can
house
answer that.
that moves drugs. Okay, it's from day two throughout all the media. It came out. I remember the quote vividly. Day two, the taxi driver said he never will pull in the driveway at 1122 because it's a drug house and he's afraid he'll get robbed. And then an Uber driver came out like 6 days later and says that he is a known distribution point for narcotics in Moscow.
Have you ever thought that all of the drug rumors that were put out were meant to actually distract you from focusing on what they were really doing, which was focusing on one of the victims as their main suspect?
No, because it was so gross. That was the thing that got me. I
Just
mean,
saying.
this was really
It
bad
all makes sense after you
violence.
see like how much the Gonzalez family is just from jump.
Yeah, and they know
Oh, it's
what
really.
happened, and they know they better shut up because these people mean business, and they will come kill you. Obviously, they
Yeah.
killed 4 kids. Oh no, did I get her mad?
No, I think she must have. Hold on.
God,
She's
I
coming
pissed her
back.
off.
She should come back. Let me put that.
That's funny.
We put the link out there again. Feel free
You
to
know,
jump on.
I like Anne theory that it could have been from within the home, because I've always said that, especially when there is a bunch of females, bunch of girls, there was always going to be at least one who's jealous of someone,
Hmm.
you
Oh, come
know?
on. It
And
wasn't
I've
sweet.
always felt that way.
I mean, you guys. So, what you guys are seriously saying? And this is awful, but hey, I would buy Andy's theory. God, this is terrible. When it goes to to Bethany or to Dylan, okay, they look to me
So I heard
like from a
that.
gay perspective, like they're gonna be nasty bitches. Okay, Xana was a sweetheart. Kaylee was a sweetheart. Okay, you know what I'm saying? Ethan was a pussy. I mean, like, this is hi Annie. I'm so glad you came back. I thought you just got mad at me. You hurt my feelings.
No, not at all. But you talk over people a lot, damn it. Holy
No,
shit.
I do. No, I do. I do. But the reason why, you guys, is you all are addicted to your cell phones. I do not
Thank
have
you,
a
Anne. I
view
appreciate that.
cell phone. I knew you all would
I'm
appreciate that.
I'm trying. Listen, I know
No, I
Brian.
do not
I know
get the
Brian.
timing. No, I
That's
don't get the
why that's
timing.
why
You
he's
all live.
very
You all live on this. You all are used to like oh, you're fading, you're blocking, you're on,
no,
you're
but
in,
that's
your
why
cell
his
phone.
username is Brian's Ramblings because bro just ramble.
Why do
Yeah.
you think I picked
Good
it?
one.
Hey Brian,
It's okay. We
so
still love
back
you. We still
back
love
on
you. But holy shit,
yeah,
stop talking over people.
we love Brian. Hey, I do want to hear one thing about this though, because you were mentioning the Oregon car. I'm very interested in what you
No,
were
it's
Yeah,
talking
really
about.
neat. It was
yeah.
really incredible. Okay, so this was right the day the Oregon car broke. Okay, and I was on T Revs. And a
Mhm.
caller called in, and G-Rev will confirm this, and so will Scarlett, because I sent it to both of them that night. But what
Mhm.
happened was a caller called into T-Rev and said, "Hey, you guys, I live 3 blocks away from the car. It's been there for 3 days. Do you guys want me to go up there and look at it?" And of course, everybody screamed, "Yes." So he goes up there, and the window was bashed, and the dude was sticking his phone in the car.
Mhm.
And in the car is a yellow parking stub. Okay. So we all start playing around with it. And guess what, y'all? The parking stub is from a hotel in Moscow, Idaho.
Mhm.
Now, I sent it to Scarlett that night and I sent it to T-Rex. And we also learned that whoever that was in the car had gastric reflux. Okay. So what happens was the guy shows it. He's going in. He shows us. Then he leaves. He says he has to go to work. So an hour later, that same dude calls in and says, "Hey, I'm on lunch break. Do you want me to go back?" And yeah, of course. Some people said, "Yeah." He goes back. There is a homicide detective at the car. The
Mhm.
homicide cop gives the dude his car. It's a homicide investigation. They let him, it was really weird. They let him, like, totally, even when they were there, they let him go up and keep filming in the car. Then we find out later there was a news article about the accident. Okay. It happened like 5 o'clock in the morning. It was 3 days before they finally did it. Fire did respond to the accident. Okay. So we got a Elantra, no tags, all beat up, with a ticket from Moscow, clearly visible from the guy, who went in and stuck his camera in the broken window and filmed all around.
Do you still have that ticket?
Oh, honey, do you think I'm that organized?
I don't know. I'm asking. That I
No,
don't
and
know.
I no, and I asked T-Rev about it like 6 months later, and he said, "Yeah, he totally remembers it. Scarlett would remember it,
Mhm.
okay, but like Willie, I adore Scarlett, but I just, I don't, I'm not going to get too into it, but I just don't like some of the regulars. But Scarlett, we looked at that ticket that night, like you wouldn't believe, and it was cotton something yellow stub from Moscow in that wrecked car.
And was it dated?
No, we couldn't figure it. We couldn't get it all. Like what we got was just that it was yellow. And from the back, you could tell that it looked like the first word was cotton. So then we started like searching around for cotton near Moscow, and something, I don't know, something came back with cotton. And then we looked at colors of their stubs, and the cotton Moscow one used yellow stubs.
Oh, so you mean the name of the hotel? Something
Yeah, it
cotton?
was
Okay.
something cotton. and we went online and looked, at their and yeah, the Cotton
Mhm.
something hotel in Moscow used yellow parking stickers.
Okay,
Um,
let me see. Is Twiz still in here? Have you heard of something cotton in or whatever in the area? Maybe Twiz knows about that. I'll ask him, and
no, that's a great question.
I'll ask Rory too if they'll be up in the area
No, that's
tomorrow.
good. That's great
I
because
wanna find
then,
out about that.
I would love for you to find out about
Unless
it.
it's an old one that's like no longer existing. But
I guess. I
yeah.
look. All I'm saying was it was just neat. And
Oh,
then the other thing now that I'm bugging
hold
you
on,
all.
hold on, Brian. Hold on. Twiz is here, and
Oh, good.
Twiz.
Twins.
So
Wait,
Brian here said that he
who's
found a parking stub in the Oregon car. There was a guy who was out there filming, and it supposedly had text on it. They said something cotton. Is there like a hotel in the area with that in its name? Cotton something like cotton candy, I guess something. I don't know.
Yeah, all we could see was cotton, and then on the one when we started trying to figure out color of stubs, the cotton one did come back yellow
It
when we
was like a
looked it up.
yellow paste stub.
Yeah, like half.
Bubbly says cozy cottage. Are you sure it was cotton and not cottage?
Oh, but wait, let's look up their stuff because we were able that night to find like amazingly parking stubs. It was yellow.
Oh, okay.
um.
I wish you had that stub still.
Oh my God, so do I. But I did ask T Rev, 6 months later, and he said yes, yes, yes. He definitely remembered.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, that was
Because
weird. Another thing
Bubbly
I'm gonna
says Spotswood Cottage, Cozy Cottage. There's, I guess, a lot of cottage named places out there.
Hey, Bubbly, wait, Bubbly? Oh, wait, wait. I guess I have to do this. Are you in chat, Bubbly?
Uh-oh.
So there are a lot of cotton like stuff in close to Moscow.
Well, according to Twizzle, Cozy Cottage in Walla Walla.
Oh, okay. Now that doesn't ring any bells.
So, but this was in Moscow. You said the
Yeah, I
ticket said
wish I could
Moscow
remember.
on it. So, is there a cottage named something in Moscow?
No, it's a great question.
Because if it said Moscow on it, then it
Wait,
must have
is he
been there.
here or is he responding
He's in chat. He's in chat.
oh, okay, Twiz, is there something like that? Hey, wait, maybe I'm not like spot. Is Twiz answering?
He is every now and then.
Oh, okay. Oh, I was excited because he lives there.
Yeah, he lives there, so he might know. And Bubbly brought up a couple of them, but I guess Cozy Cottage is in Moscow, she said, Bubbly.
I got a phone.
Yeah.
I mean, hold on. I do want to look later. Okay, say it again, but you have to talk slow because my hands don't work. What is it?
Cozy Cottage.
Cottage. Okay.
Yeah, so not cotton, cottage.
Okay, and then what was another one?
I don't think there is another one. The other one was somewhere
Oh,
else.
okay. Okay, I wrote it down. That would be fascinating, wouldn't it?
Well, it would be
And to
fascinating if
answer
you
your
could find that
question,
ticket.
and what was also fascinating is they completely ruled it out in by 4 o'clock that day. That
Yeah,
was when they
it
ruled it
was
out.
fast. I
It was
remember.
yes, it was like
Hmm.
that's ridiculous. It's the
And
same thing
then
with the damn DNA from the parent. Really?
they moved
You
it.
got
They moved
DNA
it.
results in 24 hours.
They moved it out of the area. Yeah. All right, my friends, it's actually 9 o'clock and it's getting to where I have to start getting ready for work tomorrow.
Hey, wait,
So,
though, I just want to say one thing to you
oh yeah,
guys about
sorry. Go ahead.
Blum.
Go ahead.
Okay. I've been reading Blum for decades. He is incredible. Okay. He is the executive editor of Vanity Fair. He has written for the New York Times. He's written for Village Voice. This is his 17th book. He's been nominated for 2 Pulitzers. He won one Edgar Allan Poe True Crime in 2009 award. That's the most prestigious true crime one. But what I noticed, I was thrilled when I first heard his first one. And then the second one, I'm like listening to it. It's like, eh. I mean, I like some of the stuff he was saying. It's like, no, we know that's not true by that point.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But then last week, you all, and you guys are younger, your kids. Yeah, of course, you don't know who he is. You know what I mean? I know who he is. He's a brilliant writer. Okay. But then I found out last week they are releasing this as fiction. He does not write fiction, he writes true crime books.
This is not
That is
fiction.
incredible. No, it is being released as fiction.
Oh, it
If
is.
yes,
Because
if
I
you
looked it up on Amazon and it's classified as true crime.
released it as fiction, and when I
Okay.
found that out, I felt betrayed. Like fuck you. And hey, smart as hell though, ain't it? Because so much of his recent stuff, it sounds like bullshit. Really, really, who? What? His father is going to tell this huge internationally acclaimed writer of this conversation with this kid? Does any of that really make sense? Of course, dad and his criminologist son are talking about Brent getting murdered 4 hours before they left in a city 4 minutes from Brian's house. I mean, that doesn't make him a serial killer. That makes him a criminology student. That makes him a father who's trying to connect with his son. Certainly makes sense that Brian would be interested in a murder a block away. You know, I mean, it's
Yeah.
the same thing with the car.
And I agree. I mean, I one thing though, just so that everybody is aware, being nominated for a Pulitzer is nothing. Just just I know he's a good writer, okay? You can nominate anybody for a Pulitzer. I can nominate you if you write a book tomorrow and
No, no,
publish
no.
it.
All I'm saying is I've been reading
Yeah.
him for years. Okay, and
I
he's a
understand.
brilliant
I
writer. He's
understand.
a brilliant
But
writer.
he lost not just his credibility in this, but all respect that was due, because of what he did and how he's like profiting of these dead children to further an agenda, which I'm
But
having an
see,
issue with,
no,
and
but to
tainting a,
me,
a jury pool.
no, but to me, with all of you guys, I take your age into consideration with the way you all are reacting to Blum. Okay,
Mm,
because you guys are in a totally different orbit than I am in terms of you don't trust anything. I mean, I learned the term you guys need receipts for everything, and that now makes sense because I've been on YouTube. Okay, but I mean, the fact is, I've read him, and to find out that he put it out as fiction, that's a problem.
hmm
That's a for a seriously acclaimed true crime writer. This is his 17th book. Two of his books are currently being made into major motion pictures. So
hmm
he's got some like credentials. Why are you releasing this and his stuff is sounding like bullshit, isn't it?
I can tell you why. I'm telling you why. For money, obviously. What else do you think? He made like
Agree.
do you think he got his movie uh deal before or after this whole when they found out what he's doing in Idaho?
Hey,
Just
that's a
answer.
After,
really good question. That's a good question.
after,
I
After,
think
correct?
no, I think one of
He's
them.
he might be have been a good author, but people forgot him. This
Well,
put
no,
him
I'm
on the
just
map.
thinking because of your ages that you guys haven't read them. You know, so where I mean, where
No, but I
you
understand Hollywood, okay? So here's what happened. I can tell you exactly what happened in this case. And it has nothing to do with trust or no trust. In this case, facts matter. That's all I'm saying. So I want to see proof of everything, right? That's the different thing. But when it comes to Howard Bloom he is a forgotten author. He has not worked for Vanity Fair for how long? He made his
oh,
name.
I think he's
mhm,
currently the
He
contributing
made a
editor.
name of himself by
mhm,
doing this book again. And
mhm.
that's how Hollywood came knocking.
No, he's been writing for Vanity Fair for ages.
But I can tell you that that never got him a deal with a miniseries or anything before until
I
this
agree.
happened. So it
I
doesn't
No,
really
I
agree.
think you're
matter.
wrong. I'll
There
look
are
it up,
a
and I think
lot of
you're wrong. I think one of the movies is before Moscow, and that's got an
No, mama.
esteemed director connected to.
I'm
I
curious to see that. I'm gonna look it up too, but I'm curious to see
no,
that. But
yeah, no, no. Well, I
but
just read it like 2 days
but
ago.
here Hollywood is always like that. They want to see people on the map. If you're not on the map, they're not interested. And this put him on the map and it he gave him a boost, and that's it. And I
Mhm.
stick
Hey,
by it.
look, it's pretty telling to me if you're releasing this as fiction.
Yeah.
That means you know damn well that your sources are not what your standard of sourcing is.
No, no,
It
no.
is
It's not just that. I'm speaking from experience. I'm actually I work as a producer as well, so I know exactly what's going on behind the scenes in
I
Hollywood.
don't remember the name of this first one. He's
Hmm.
got two in works now. The first one, I think, was before this, and that first one has an esteemed director connected to it.
Hmm.
This last one, I do think I take your angle that it is after all this with this mess. But
Hmm.
why would you change from? Why would you don't want to get your ass sued? So you put it out as fiction and you're safe as hell.
Yeah.
Why would you do that if you've been for all these years doing true crime? Because you don't really know if your sources are right.
Yeah. That's a bit unfortunate. That's him, I guess.
Yeah, and his
Yeah.
stuff has been getting worse and worse.
That's because he's an outdated author. Unfortunately, that's not what
No, I mean
people
on
are looking
Idaho,
for.
he's saying more and more dumb shit that
Well,
we've
yeah,
all
but he's
learned
an
about 8 years.
outdated in more than one sense because you look at what Hollywood is buying today is totally different from Howard Bloom. But now he came, as I say, he came back. He had his revival, and so there you
Well, this
go.
is his 17th book. I don't think he's been out of the action that long, and I've certainly read a lot of his stuff in Vanity Fair. I mean, obviously, I'm not in New York. At Vanity Fair, I mean, hey, you guys know what a magazine is? It's a thing with trees, paper, ink, all that stuff,
Oh, I've
and
read Vanity Fair. Don't worry, I've had a
it
subscription
sticks
to it.
together. It's kind of like a
Yeah, yeah.
book.
I've had subscription to Vanity Fair.
You
Don't, yeah,
remember?
I do. I do. I do. But
um,
anyway, I want to thank all of you, and please come back next time I do this because I want to hear more voices like Nicole. I appreciate you jumping on, sharing your story. I love that.
Thank you.
Annie,
Thank
I
you.
want to talk more with you too, Annie,
okay,
and
wait,
you too,
Nicole, did you
Brian.
put the title of your brother's nightmare? Shoot.
Oh yeah, I think Brian wants to look it up.
Good night,
Yeah,
guys. Good night,
I think
everybody.
Good night, Annie. Good
I
night.
think great for you to do that for your brother. That's I think that's pretty
It's
amazing.
amazing. It is amazing.
Do
Good night,
you do
everyone. Great
wait?
show, Miss Golf. Great show.
Did she
Thank
say the
you.
name of
Thank you for
the
jumping on.
case? Nicole, did
Uh,
you say the name?
I think
Oh,
she.
if you want to look up my brother's case, it's his name is Troy Charles.
Hey,
TR.
wait, go slow. My hands don't write.
Troy Charles. Let me put it in chat if I
Hey, no, I wrote it down. No, and I
The
think
state
good
of
for
Indiana.
you.
I
I
Hmm.
think that's
hope I get
stunning that
this
you did
right.
that for your brother. I think that's amazing.
Did I spell that right, Nicole?
I'm sorry,
I
I
put
didn't
it
hear
in
you.
chat. I put the name in chat. I hope I spelled your brother's name right.
Oh gosh, I don't have
Troy.
my glasses on, but
Oh,
yeah, it's Troy. Yeah,
Troy.
Troy.
Right. Charles.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Charles, like as in Ray Charles.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So
I think I
please,
got it right.
everyone, look up his case. You can Google it. It's out there.
Yeah.
Well, just congratulations to you, Nicole.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All
That's
right,
one hell
thank
of
you. Thank you, Brian.
one hell of an accomplishment in a world of
And
crooked
It is.
cops.
tomorrow, folks, don't forget Tommy's got Cy Ray on his show tomorrow.
No.
And then also I know that
Hmm.
um Rory will be out there filming, around the whole hearing tomorrow. So he'll be live throughout the day when he comes out of the courtroom or before he goes in the courtroom. So make sure you tune into that as well. I will just go ahead and tomorrow I'm just going to record the hearing. So we got it. Um, but other than that, you'll see us more tomorrow. But
Well, I
look out
thank you
for
all
those
for
two.
putting up with my fat, loud mouth.
Aw, it's okay. I love you, Brian. You know that.
No, I
And
know. I know. I have trouble with timing online with this stuff. I don't do a cell phone. You guys are used to the rhythm of like cutting out or something, and I know I have a hard time connecting with when you guys are ending your sentence because I mean, come on. In my life, I met face to face with people my entire socialized life.
yeah,
So
I
you all
understand.
are totally conditioned to reacting to other Homo sapiens on the planet via technology. So you guys are much more. I have trouble with pacing, like when you're done, when you're going to start. I
Mm,
do
hmm
online. Obviously, there are cues in person where you know someone's finishing a thought.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So that's my
Don't
excuse
worry
for
about
being.
it. Don't worry about it. Sorry.
That's my
I do
excuse
I
for
do
being
have a
intrusive.
I have a correction. Fridays, Irate. See, sorry, Tommy, I am still not all here in my head. Sorry. Friday is Irate with Tommy, so don't forget to watch that. You
What
watch it
time,
too.
Tommy?
I believe it's 7 o'clock Central. Am I
Okay.
right, Tommy? 7 o'clock? I think it's 7 o'clock.
Okay. And I appreciate golf, and you enlighten me anytime I listen to you.
Oh, you too. You too.
It was interesting conversation, stuff I've
Yes.
never even pondered.
That's
Be
good.
good, you guys.
Good night. Have a good night,
Good night.
everybody. I'll see you next time.
Be good.
Bye. Bye.
How do you get off? Oh, leave.